That's a nod of the head there.
I'm ready for the adventures of Stuart Little and his angels.
Oh, God. I don't know why I ended up watching Stuart Little fairly recently, but I did. I was like,
Of
this
course
film's
you
so
did.
fucking bad. Apart from Nathan Lane as Snowbell, who's just amazing because Nathan Lane's amazing.
I remember loving it as a kid, but I don't know if it holds up.
It no, it doesn't hold up great, no. But yeah, it's fine. It's stupid. It's Stuart Little. Right, things we're all ready. Without further ado, welcome back to the Lights of Lumen. We're on to session 6 now. The last session was marked by a wonderful session of lots of role-playing and a little bit of intrigue. We began with people reacting, the village itself reacting to the presence of Old Thunder, the old trusty warhorse known as a token of good luck and good signs by the village, usually ridden by Amarea Grindstone, the village's sky singer, the important individual who protects the village from the toxic and burning falling ash that falls for about 3 days each year. But Old Thunder did not have Amarea Grindstone upon his solid back. All he had was blood stains, blood spatter across his flanks and his back. He seemed very disturbed. People didn't know what to do. Some stepped forward. Scrick's father, Larcel Grumman, stepped forward to try and calm the spooked horse, and Primrose, you yourself, tried very hard to bring Old Thunder back to his senses a bit, which did seem to work, or at least begin the process of calming him down. An announcement was pronounced by the Elder Councillor Harley 10 that the Diamond would meet immediately, convene, and let people know what's going to happen by noon. They did convene in Lumen Hall. Celia, you decided that this attitude of hidden discussions and delaying until noon was ridiculous, and decided to try and do your best gathering your companions, try and do your best to listen in and find out what's going on. Morrigan, you took a different approach, using your standing with a crucial member of the Diamond, Rolo, the Weave Walker, and your improvisational skills to bring some breakfast to them, whilst the rest of you broke in to the back of the hall, clambering down inside, Scrick getting immediately distracted by the goodies on offer down there, Primrose and Celia heading under the floorboards of Main Lumen Hall to try and listen in. Various things came to pass, people stumbling, trying to hide. You are rumbled in your scheme and brought in front of the Diamond, where Rolo, the Weave Walker, saw this as an opportunity, a sign from the Weave itself. Fate has convened and brought you all there, almost like a summons from destiny. She has an idea. You, having proven yourselves at least capable of facing danger by the events of the Night of Sharpening, where some of the Ashbound attacked Lumen Yard, and also your rescuing of Mr. Muffinpaws from nearby Horsehair Hollow from the grasp of gremlins. Some weren't so convinced. Specular Office Bryna suggested the use of mercenaries, but between discussions and the influence of Rolo, it was decided that, and of course, with a deal struck between Scrick and the village itself, which was enough to convince Scrick to get on board, it was decided that you would set out to try and find out what had happened to the Lightbearers, that group who usually travels and brings Amarea Grindstone safe to Farspire Tower. You were given some details, shown a map, told to go no further than where the Lightbearers should have been, worked out how long it should have taken Old Thunder to get back to you, which is after the settlement of Sea Spray on their usual journey. Each of you then went to your respective families to let them know and say farewells for now and prepare yourselves. Some were more heartwarming than others. Celia knocking out Lord Forswain Oakleaf, Primrose sharing a wonderful family hug with the Meadows clan. Scrick having a. I enjoyed listening back to Scrick's one in particular, having a very frank back and forth with his father. But we find ourselves now, as after the announcement was made, there were some differences. The announcement at noon, some differences to what you thought you had agreed. Arnlin Grindstone has been named as the 5th member of the group to be travelling, and Gwilyn Oakleaf has not been named. Celia, you took it upon yourself to confront Arnlin Grindstone and headed to the Cracked Lens Inn. And this is where we find ourselves now.
How close are we to leaving?
There has been push from Celia to leave very quickly, but the impression you've gotten from the council is that you would leave at dawn the next day.
So what time is it now?
Probably early afternoon, I would say.
Yeah. Okay then. Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. So, Celia, as you push in to the Cracked Lens Inn, it is more crowded than it usually is at early afternoon at around this time. The sunlight of the afternoon is coming in through the multiple colours of the cracked lenses in the windows. You see Tudan Seafoam, the charismatic and friendly gnome behind the bar, serving Arbuck Thunderhoof and speaking with a familiar face, Lord Forswain Oakleaf, who currently is sporting a rather shiny black eye around his both eyes. A number of other characters, people from the village, litter the space, but what draws your attention the most is the target of your entrance, but you don't need to look for him, for he's making himself well known. As you've come in, you seem to have come in at him mid-speech. He seems very drunk, and the young man, the young adult, you know him to be in his late teens, shock of strawberry blonde hair, is currently standing on the stairs leading to the upper floors of the Cracked Lens Inn, one hand on the polished wooden balcony, the other up in the air as if proclaiming a great truth. And he's saying, "Fear not, fellow Lumenites, for Arnlin Grindstone," as he points to himself, son of Amareya Grindstone, grandson of Marshal Artax Grindstone, the bold of Crucible, is on the case. And he swings himself out over the banister, and people are just, some people awkwardly clap, a couple people cheer, most people just turn back their drinks and roll their eyes. And he continues, "This, as the savior of Lumen Village, I promise you, I will bring back all the good things that are out on the trail. I will find what has happened, and it's going to be great." And because he is drunk. And he just continues. You can see there isn't a break for this, Celia, but you find yourself stood in the doorway. What would you do?
She's just going to march straight up to the stairs. And would Celia know if there's any rooms upstairs?
Yeah, absolutely. You know there are rooms upstairs.
I'm just going to walk straight up to him, just grab his fucking collar, and just pull him into a room.
Amazing. Oh, hold on. Can you guys see the scene?
I can see black and white, kind of like the pub, but no tokens on it or anything.
Oh, it's because you're not in there. Let me just turn.
I can drag myself out if you want.
Can you see it now?
Yes, yeah, no, I can.
Okay, there we go. There he is on his stairs. Okay, so Celia, you just go marching, stomping up the stairs.
Yeah.
He sees you coming, and he's just like, "And as the greatest adventure, alright, Celia," and you start dragging him up the stairs. Again, there's a couple of claps from the crowd. You go up, and you see one of the doors on the top floor is open.
Yeah, she just like pushes them in and just shoves them onto the bed in there, if there's a bed inside.
Yeah, he's just like, whoa, calm down! As he like slumps back on the bed, plonks down.
Right, listen here, Arnlin. I know that Harley 10 announced that you are coming on this big old mission with us, but you are just a... You are a... Just look at you. What are you doing with yourself? You're just a hindrance. You're going to get me and my friends killed. I don't want you there. They don't want you there. You're not needed. It's better off if you stay here, because all that's going to happen if you come is either you're going to get yourself killed, you're going to get one of us killed, or you're going to get all of us killed.
His eyes kind of focus on yours, but kind of drift a little bit as you're talking. Do a intimidation check.
God, I thought I was better at intimidation than that, but I'm not. But I still rolled well. Hopefully.
Let's have a little look at his old.
Why am I not trained in like anything? Like fucking Sin is like trained in everything.
The fighter life.
Yeah.
16. You do see his focus like sharpens as he's properly listening to your words. As you kind of hammer these words in your different points, you can see the start of little, like, his eyes are getting a little bit watery. He's brimming a little bit.
Suck it up.
And as you finish, he's like, "That's my mum. I don't know what's happened to my mum. I've got to find out."
Do you think that she's going to want you wandering off and getting other people killed? Getting yourself killed?
I won't get killed. I'm her son. She's been training me. I can swing a sword and I can do things. I've got powers.
She just like balks at it and just she is just gonna like yeah, she's just gonna push him back onto the bed basically, like further.
Is anyone else getting shades of...
Not in a way,
Yeah.
not meaning to do it in that way.
No, yeah, you push him back, and he's nowhere near as strong as you are, and you knock him back onto the bed.
Come
And
on,
he's
if
just
you've got
like, "No."
such power, then fucking prove it.
All right. And he looks over. There's like a dresser on the side with an old discarded wooden cup, and you can see he like frowns, completely screws up his face, staring at it, and he's just like, "Come on!" And as he like seems to release something, you see the wooden cup just like slightly shake, and then fall off the side of the dresser.
I'm sure the ash zombies are going to go fucking running when they see Arling Grindstone, the great cup shaker.
I moved it, didn't I? You can move things. Mum told me not to tell anyone, but I can be useful. I can...
Yeah, you can shake cocktails with Tudan downstairs.
Kind of slumps down. It's like, I can't just sit here. I can't just sit and do nothing while... What if... And you can see him welling up more. What if that's her blood?
She kind of sighs and she just says, "Look, we are going to go find her. Not you. You're going to get here and you're going to sober the fuck up. I don't just mean in one day, I mean for good. Like when your mum comes home, not an if, when, I want her to come home to a son that's not a bloody fucking disgrace."
He's like staring down at his hands now. Well, what about thunder? He won't let anyone else ride him. What if Mum needs Thunder?
She'll be fine. We've got our horses. We can help her on the back of ours.
Kind of looks up at you then, with like a slight crook in his mouth. He's just like, oh, I don't know. I'm not trying to be funny, but Thunder, you try and tie him to the back of other horses, he's gonna pull your whole wagon off the trail.
No, we got our horses. Thunder can stay here. You can look after Thunder. Make sure he's ready for when your mum comes back.
What if she needs him out there? What if you can, I don't know, figure something out? Primrose seemed to have a little connection with him. What if I don't know. What if it helps? What if it's what she needs?
Just stop with all the fucking what ifs. Like, we are going to go out there and see what's going on. I can what if forever. What if we brought the entire fucking town with us? We've just got to go see. But you will get us killed out there. It's not a case of what if. You'll either get yourself killed or one of us killed. And I'm not going to let that happen.
You see he's frowning and looking down now, and he just kind of mutters under his breath. It's like, you don't know that.
Just look at the state of you, Arlen. You aren't fit for travel, let alone combat.
Well, I was just letting people just trying to be happy and having a drink with my friends and with the others.
I'm not talking
People are
about
worried.
right now. I'm talking about this is every other day, Arlen. This is your life. You aren't fit, and I don't mean just mentally. Physically, you are not fit for this.
What if I don't drink at all? I won't take anything with me, and I'll sit in the wagon, or I'll ride Thunder, and I won't drink anything, and I'll just be quiet. I'll just be there so I can see my mum.
If we had time for you to get yourself in shape, then maybe, but we don't have time. We've got to leave as soon as possible, and you aren't in a state to get yourself like that in that time. Just get yourself sobered up, get yourself in good shape, and then we'll be back with your mum. But make sure she comes back to someone who she can be proud of. Okay?
He's like frowning still, kind of shakes his head, like, can't just sit here and wait.
Then I understand. I understand wanting to take up arms and follow a call to action. That's why I'm doing this. But can't you see that you're a hindrance, Arlen? You're better off here. You keep people... If people see you starting to sort your life out and turn things around, they're going to start having more hope. If you can take charge, take responsibility, fill your mother's shoes. You need to keep these people in check. Because if we don't come back quickly, their panic's going to set in. Old Bellow's going to start doing its thing eventually. Without your mum, then we're all fucked. So, in that case, they're going to need someone like you at your best. But you ain't in your best right now, mate.
He's like staring at a point between your feet, just frowning still. and you hear a gentle knock on the door behind you. And you hear the sound of Tadan's voice, the gnomish barkeep here. Everything okay?
She just says, "Yeah, don't worry about it, too, Don." She just does she have any money? I don't think she does. Inventory. No, I've got fucking no money.
Would Celia have closed the door behind her as she went in?
Yeah, she would have.
Yeah. Then you hear the knock and the voice, and then you hear a deeper voice, which fills you with an assortment of emotions, I imagine. But you
Yeah.
hear the voice of Lord Forswain, just like, "Come on out of there now. Let's not have any aggressive behavior any more than there's already been."
This is private business, none of yours.
Tadan's voice comes forward again. It's just like, "We heard raised voices, and I just want to make sure everyone in there's okay. Can you open the door?"
She just sighs and walks to the door and opens it, like, sort of aggressively, and then just sort of points to him and says, "Does he look okay to you? Do I look okay?"
Tadan gives you like a thankful smile as you open the door. Lord Forswain is just glowering at you from behind him.
She just stares him down.
Tadan kind of cranes his head to one side of you. "You okay, Arnlin?" Arnlin sniffs, just like, "I've been better." Tadan looks back to you, Celia. It's just like, "Can he come downstairs? He was a lot happier 5 minutes ago."
Just look after him, and she just sort of pushes past and walks down the stairs and leaves.
Yeah, as you walk down the stairs, though you outpace him, it's up to you how you react. Lord Forswain does like shadow right behind you. He's just like, "Clearly you haven't had enough time today spent making people miserable."
She just ignores him and just keeps walking.
Yeah, you outpace him. Okay. You head off. Yup. The village is busy. People are gathering things. You can see the wagon, large wagon that's usually used to carry produce for trade, is being emptied out, filled with the goods promised to support you guys. The large pavilion tent is pulled out of the basement of Lumen Hall and brought up. Why hasn't the Lumen Village music? People are bustling around. What are people doing? Are you guys just spending time with your families? Are you gathering things? Are there any particular tasks or things you want to do?
Scrick could have been waiting outside the pub
Okay.
for Celia.
You see Celia striding out.
She looks pretty hot-headed.
He'd be like, "If I remember correctly, you owe me a favor."
She kind of gets startled by Scrick's wily little voice and like, but actually she's quite, she sort of breathes like a sigh of relief, and she's like, "Oh, it's you, Scrix. Yeah, of course. What you got in mind?"
You said we're going to the old Oakleaf place to get some stuff.
Yeah. Now's probably the best time if we are going to.
I better just mention I don't do anything for free, so if you ask me a favor in the future, I'm always going to come sneaking up on you.
She grins and just says, "Yeah, I get that vibe, but yeah, for some reason I like you, so I think I'm willing to find work for you, let's say."
I don't know why, but let's go. Let's not make this anything more than it needs to be. We get in and we get out.
"Right, you are." Nods and said, "We should get Gwilyn, though." She knows the place
How's
better than
she
I do.
gonna help?
Well,
Oh yeah, good point.
she does live there.
She coming with us?
Yeah, she'd go find Gwilyn.
Yeah, as you guys head to Oakleaf Manor, much like the village itself, the manor is alive with activity. You see servants rushing around. Lady Jinna is in full commanding master of the house mode, and is like, right, this needs to be packed here. If Gwilyn's going to be going, she needs to have proper safe clothing. Right, someone take this gold coin down to the market, get like all these little bits and pieces. You see servants running in and running out, and just stranded in the middle of it, and they look like two thumbs sticking out, are Gwilyn and her sister Foria. Gwilyn's got her arm around Foria's shoulder, and Foria's face is quite red. It looks like she's been crying. But you can see they're just kind of like in the middle as everyone bustles around them in the entrance hall of Oakleaf Manor. The front doors are wide open.
Yeah, Celia just walks up and kind of hugs and pulls Gwilyn in close to her.
Yeah.
And she says, I thought we could give Scrix a tour. You know, for his help. And sort of nods back towards him.
Gwilyn kind of cocks her head slightly, gives you a little nod, Scrick, and it's just like, yeah, okay, sure. Come on, Fori, let's go and see if Mum needs any. I think just go grab her hand. I think she needs to calm down a little bit. You see Foria squeezes her sister's hand really tightly, but then lets go and heads upstairs. Tour? Sure. This is the entrance hall. Dad would say something about it being made from. And then she kind of pauses as you say, well.
I don't really. Is anyone else around?
Servants are moving around, but there are moments in time where the three of you are alone in the entrance hall.
Yeah, just say he cut to the point. He's like, well, I wasn't here to have tours. I was here to get some stuff. Celia promised it to me for helping.
I mean, you gotta have a tour to see what's on sale, right?
I don't want.
Oh, did Kieran cut out or did I cut out? Oh shit. You still talk? Yeah, put something in the chat. Save disconnected. She's lagging.
The main staircase, and she would lead you into a room which you'd quickly realise is her father's study. She'd do she'd stand in the middle of the room, do a little twirl with her arms out, and just say, help yourself.
Sorry,
His
I
eyes
am back.
dart around.
Yeah. Scrick, you see a very finely furnished study. It doesn't look that well used. It looks like a lot of the things on display are kind of just performative more than anything else. There are fine, like metal quill holder, little nibs and such. There's fine ink wells, very fancy looking paper with an oak leaf manner printing at the top of it. You see fine books lining the walls. You see a small silver letter opener. You see some finely made counting equipment, like a little abacus. You see a set of maps, scrolls. You see leather bindings. You see all manner of things. Is there
He'd,
anything in particular Scrick would be interested in?
he'd just go up and take the letter opener, feel the weight, see how much silver's actually in it. Is it pretty heavy?
It feels fairly heavy. You think it's not silver all the way through, but it feels like it's got a heavier metal inside it to give it heft.
Mm.
Can,
You'd look at the abacus then as well.
Can
The abacus.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, can Celia just sort of quietly say to Gwillem, like, and just sort of nodding as Scrick kind of searches through the stuff, just saying, "You sure you're okay with this?"
Gwilyn would say, in this room? Absolutely. This is
She's-
her father's study.
Yeah, she's a big smile.
Scrick, the abacus, as you pick it up, you immediately realise you've made an excellent choice. It looks like each of the beads on the abacus is made from a different type of wood, finely lacquered, and even has, like, each one has its own scent to it, like a pine resin. One has a sandalwood kind of scent to it. It looks very finely made. It's not overly engraved or anything like that. It's just the materials look very, very high quality.
Look at that.
Mhm.
And then he'd put it back down. He'd take the letter opener. He'd be like, "I'm only going to take what I feel I'm owed." And takes the letter opener and puts it in his backpack. He's like, "Yep, we're square now."
Good choice.
Well, I didn't really have to do much anyway, so I'm not taking more than I've earned.
I respect that.
Yeah, I don't want to piss your friend off, but she's coming with us.
She ain't gonna be pissed off if you take anything in here, to be honest, Script.
Yeah, I
I'll
really
keep it
don't
all in
mind.
mind. When we return.
Yeah. On the way out, Gwilyn upends one of the inkwells on the desk. Cool. Anything else in particular people are doing?
Not anything particularly amazing or anything. She's going to spend most of her time with her family.
Mhm.
I think she'll also probably make a round around the town, giving out stuff that was almost ready to pick, but it's like
Yeah.
nearly ready, but she's not had time to wait, so she's just giving out what she can. And
Oh,
yeah.
Primrose, you get so much loving feedback and comments from people. Gratitude for the produce, admiration at what you're taking on, sorrow that they'll miss you. Many of them like offer to take care of your patch in Greenswell's corner,
Oh,
make sure the plants are all watered and everything. But yeah, there is an outpouring of love and appreciation towards you.
oh, that's really cute. I think she'd probably try and just reassure them that her family has got all her stuff covered, really, and that they will provide for everyone else in her stead as well, so they're in good hands.
Yeah, it'd be lots of people like wanting to shake your hand and inviting you in for a quick tea or what have you.
Oh,
Lots and lots of
she's
gratitude.
gonna be there a while then, because she'd accept
Yeah.
everyone.
Probably gets away pretty late.
Desperately needing to pee.
Yeah.
Anything from anybody else?
What's Morrigan doing? I'm curious.
While Anya's running around food stuff, is there anything Morrigan would want to do in particular? She wants to hone her craft in any particular way? Oh, okay. Like sit with Rolo and study and talk through. Cool. I love that. Yeah, so you do spend the afternoon with Rolo in a meditative piece. You share few words, but each word shared is is possessed of great meaning, and she shows you different tomes and scraps of old scroll, and she talks you through some of the more she talks you through some of the next steps that she would have been talking you through over the next few months in your training as her apprentice. And yeah, you feel you gain some more insight into the ideas of the weave, the influence of the Kiad Shore, and the lives that people walk and how they can be guided. Fantastic. Okay. Well, the day wears on. Celia, now, even with your impatience, you begin to see the practicality of multiple bits and pieces being gathered from different places, saddling up horses. Speaking of which, you would all be called, and this would happen the night before, or the afternoon before. So at some point, you would all be called together, or if you're unavailable, you'd be brought in one at a time. But you would be brought over to Scrick's family's place, Grumman's Fine Mounts, just outside the southwest of the village, and essentially talked through the mounts that are going to be with you on your journey, and asked to decide on which of your mounts you're most likely to be riding. I will say, Larcel Grumman is keen to have you in charge of the wagon, Scrick. The wagon needs to be pulled by 2 of the horses, so already you'd be in kind of half in charge of 2 of the horses, and also he trusts you more with knowing how the wagon hitches up to the horses and all that stuff.
That's his dad, right?
That's his dad, yeah.
And he'd be like, yeah, whatever, do what you say.
Okay, so we'll say everyone has a say in this, but I'll talk you guys through your horses. So of course, if you can look in the middle of the map near Sarian Stand, you got Old Thunder, Old Warhorse. It would become very clear to you guys talking with the Grumman family that Arnlin, what he said to Celia, he wasn't blustering or joking. Old Thunder is very challenging for others to ride or even just talk down. Primrose, he is slightly more gentle towards you, but even then, he's a huge horse, and you think you sitting on the back of him, he'd barely even know you were there, let alone respond to like
makes sense.
you being his rider. So there's Old Thunder. Now, Larcel and the Grumman family somewhat apologize. They didn't, they've had half a day to prepare. Many of their best horses are out, already loaned or being used or being ridden by the rest of the light bearers, perhaps. And so they've kind of scraped together the best of what they can. So let's start with Dreamer. Dreamer is... I'll read the little blurb for each of them. So, Larcel's voice. He's called Dreamer because he's always daydreaming. He's a young gelding. He's meant to become a premium courser, great for short bursts of speed, but his legs didn't grow quite right, and instead he's a bit of a clumsy fool. If you find him snorting more than usual, it means he's happy where he is. He's not a great horse, but maybe there's some future potential in him. He does have some nasty scars above his forehooves, particularly on the right one. When he was small, he kept rubbing his legs against the fences. We couldn't get him to stop. It's nothing to worry about now, but if you wonder what that is, that's why there. He's got a lovely set of blue eyes, at least, so, that's something. That's Dreamer. We've got Shadow. Funny one, Shadow. Bit enigmatic, quite often aloof, but not mean-tempered or anything, just a bit of a mystery. Lovely deep black coat. Her hooves are a little thin than we would like to see, but not a huge deal. Bigger deal is the poor thing lost the sight in one eye. When she was a foal, she had an infection in her eye, lost the sight there. She'll make do. She gets by, but it can leave her nervous at times, particularly if there's something loud on her left side that she can't see. If she's snorting, that means she's unhappy. So whereas Dreamer's happy, she's unhappy. Got some potential in her, but can stumble a bit, so watch her footing if you're going over uneven ground. Then, next up, and I can only apologise, as to each of you, he would trot out a very dopey-looking pony. Probably the only horse of the size that's right for you, Primrose. And you would see as this pony is trotted out, all the little, all of Scrick's siblings, all the little Grumman children and such, just have such a look of love on their face. He's like, right, now don't take this the wrong way. We love Sweets. He's been the favourite of every one of us, one time or another, except Scrick, of course.
Yeah, he's not mine. He's a dopey little fool.
Got his name from all the sugar cubes that the young ones would sneak him. He's
He
lovable.
shouldn't mind.
He tries his best. He'll work his little heart out to help you. He loves company, but he's just not a very good pony, really. He can't gallop for long. You'll have to rest him regular-like out on the road. He's still a good-looking horse, lovely white coat, and he's got those fancy eyes where they're different colours, one on each side. And he's got a bit of a wonky tail, but it doesn't really ruin the image. Just wasn't to be, really, for Sweets. He didn't grow tall or broad enough. He likes to stamp his little hooves on the ground to show his appreciation for things, so don't worry if you see it. It's a good thing if he's stamping. But take good care of him, though. I've got a real soft spot for this one. And then, save the best till last. This is Baroness. She is my pride and joy, excluding Old Thunder. You all ever heard of a Garen? It's a kind of horse that will stand by you through thick and thin. Won't be spooked by lightning, bad weather, anything like that. She's solid as a rock. No matter what's going on or the state of the ground, she'll be there, she'll be steady. She is a little slab-sided, so if things get shaky, you may need to cling on tight, but she's an absolute beauty, inside and out. Totally gentle, easy to look after, seems to be completely happy getting by on half the grub all the other horses do, often shares her portion with the weaker ones. Lovely shaggy mane, intelligent amber eyes. I'll be sorry to lose her from the stables, to be honest. She's a calming presence there, but she's a majestic beast that don't expect to be treated like royalty. You take good care of her, and she'll take excellent care of you. So, don't know which of them you think would suit you, but you're going to need 2 of these to pull the wagon, and the wagon will only go as fast as the slowest, as he nods his head towards Sweets, pulling it. But, yeah, 2 of them will need to be hitched up to the wagon. They can take turns. I wouldn't recommend putting Thunder on the wagon. You'll probably just need Arnian riding him. But, yeah. What do you guys think?
Arnon ain't coming, so
What?
yeah, he's pulled out.
I hadn't heard anything about this. When did this happen?
Oh, not long ago at the pub.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Well, I don't think even a script could get Thunder to behave, really.
Well, we know all our tricks, don't we, Dad? And he winks at him.
There's a moment of understanding. It's just like, yeah. Well, all right. Well, if that's the case, you just got the 4 of them then. Shadow, Dreamer, Baroness, Sweets. What do you think? Because I'd like to start getting you all saddled up and sorted and in the saddle, starting to acclimatise them to you, you to them. If you just hop on them for the first time tomorrow, you're going to look like idiots when you're thrown off.
Yeah, well, I was about to say that I don't think I've really ridden a horse properly before. But I think Sweets is a good size. Just kind of walks up to Sweets, tries to give him a carrot.
Oh, yeah, he bends down and enthusiastically like chomps the carrot out of your hand and crunches away at it and gives a little stomp on the ground, which you know means he's happy.
Oh.
And he like immediately leans in and like gently kind of butts you slightly with his forehead
Oh.
and goes in for a nuzzle.
I like you too, sweets.
Yeah, Last Cell has a big smile on his face, just like, well, I'm glad you chose him because I didn't want to, force you two together, but I was thinking it would suit the situation best, right? That's good. Right, you two, and he points to two of his kids. Get Primrose saddled up, start taking her around the pen outside, start getting her used to it. Give her the beginner's rundown. And two of the kids excitedly run up to you, Primrose, and lead you outside. Start talking you through how to ride a horse.
Nice. Yeah. She goes with him.
Well, that leaves 3. He looks expectantly at the rest of you.
Celia looks to Scrick and Morrigan first.
Script shrugs.
I was hoping you'd be doing the wagon, Scrick.
Doing? I would have got a horse as well, seeing as that guy wasn't coming. No, if I'm going to ride him, he can carry my stuff.
What, Thunder?
Yeah.
Whoa. Boy, if you want to get kicked in the head, you found the way to do it.
That horse wants to sleep forever. He can kick me in the head.
Last Cell, like, it's halfway between a frown and like a look of shock on his face, just like, whoa, Thunder's the pride and joy of my business, Scrick. You can't be putting him down. God, don't scare me.
I'll try not to.
Well, whatever you're thinking, I think any of you would struggle, especially with Primrose going off with Sweets. You sure Grindstone's not going? Thunder loves him.
Yeah, no, he's pulled out.
I guess you can tell the town he's staying then. Guess the talisman won't be going anywhere.
Probably for the best.
Well, look, you've got 3 horses that will do what they're told, more or less. Dreamer, you might have to tell twice. Baroness will help you out, though. So whatever you think, but you've got 3 horses, you got the wagon, and you got you lot. So you need to make your decision, because the sooner we get you started out on the horses, the better.
Morrigan?
Unmuting. You haven't unmuted.
I'm happy to go with whatever anybody else thinks. I don't really know that much about horses, so it's probably best if you guys advise me.
I was thinking maybe Primrose comes around the corner. Maybe I'll just ask the horses. Kind of
Yeah.
get an
I
idea.
mean, yeah, that does sound like a pretty good idea, but what if they all say they don't want to do it?
Well, then we'll hope there's some more. Maybe.
Oh my god. This could go very, very wrong.
Yeah, I think Primrose just goes around the horses to try and see if she can get an idea.
Yeah. This is your wild empathy?
Yeah.
You get... do a, whichever... Can't remember. Is it diplomacy or nature or... I cannot remember the feat.
I think it's diplomacy.
Yeah, do a diplomacy check for me, Primrose. Yeah. I had a modifier to that in my mind because of your previous experience with Old Thunder.
Mm.
Yeah, Primrose, you go amongst the horses, you take a moment to kind of lay your hand on them. Dandy shakes his little leaves around,
No.
lays a leaf on them as well, and there are moments of proper empathy. The first thing you realise is that Last Cell is good at his job. He has got a good read on each of these horses. Dreamer comes across as a very simple soul. To you, Shadow is a little bit reluctant to share. There's a hesitation in her, whereas Baroness there's a feeling of this like gentle, almost regal presence She understands. Baroness, I think you like trying to seek out an impression of who they would prefer. Baroness does gravitate towards Morrigan.
Mm-hmm.
Of the people that are there, Dreamer doesn't really go for anyone. He seems quite confused by what's going on. Shadow, I think Shadow would naturally kind of lean towards Scrick just as a familiar scent and a familiar presence, more so than the rest of you.
Okay. Let me look at Shadow again.
Well, there wasn't a horse.
What's that, Scrick?
Thought he wasn't having a horse.
Because you're going in the wagon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would turn his face away from them, be like,
Yeah.
No.
And if Scrick has kind of like nudged out of the picture, Shadow... So is Gwylin with you as well?
I think she would be, yeah. Natalie's just walking about a second.
That's cool. So that just leaves Celia and Gwylin. Shadow's energy would vibe more with Gwylin, I think. I think Shadow would be a little bit scared of Celia's brusque energy.
Okay. Well, she would definitely mention the Baroness as a solid one against Morrigan then. She would mention the gravitation toward Gwylin.
That's cool. Yeah, as you say, the Baroness with Morrigan Larcel is like, well, it will be an honor, Mistress Fate Weaver, for you to sit atop the Baroness. And he points towards his eldest kids. He's like, right, you two, come on, show Miss Fate Weaver the ropes, and let the Baroness do her thing. And you're led outside. And as they're led outside, he's like, right, well, if old Grindstone's not going with you, then these two will be pulling the wagon, I'd imagine. So it's great that he's gravitating towards young Miss Oakleaf. But it might be that you two are sat in the wagon while Scrick's piloting it. There'll be enough space for the two of you, but if you need to unhitch them, I'd like you all to have a little bit of an introduction to riding anyway. So we'll go Dreamer with you, Miss Brunt, and Shadow with Miss Oakleaf. And all right, come on, you lot. And he directs more of his kids to help. And before long, you're all out in the pen, walking the horses, being given your first lessons riding on horseback.
Cool. Oh yeah. I don't think Primrose has ridden a horse properly before. She's stood on one, sat on one, but yeah. So it's
difficult.
Curious,
It's difficult, and before long, each of you is battered and bruised on your tailbone, trying to get used to the horse riding. But you each begin to form a bit of a bond. Morrigan, you get a genuine sense of like calm on the back of this horse, even with the difficulty of the riding. She stops when she needs. It's almost like a self-driving car, if you like it. She knows when to stop. She knows when to turn and everything. No, not that. And Primrose Sweets is just a bundle of joy. Like, he's so happy to have you riding around, and he gets all excited and goes clopping around the pen. Exactly, and you almost like bundle off the back, and the Grumman kids have to calm him down. But yeah, each of you begins to bond a little with those horses, and you're left there. Anything else on the day before?
Yeah, after we leave, I want to sneak back to the stables alone.
Okay.
And I'm going to try and ride Old Thunder.
Okay. So, there comes a natural ending point where Larcel's like, right, gotta get the horses in for the night now. Thank you all. They'll all be ready for tomorrow. You all start to head off. Celia, how are you making this happen?
She wants
You're
to
trying to
try and
sneak into the stables themselves?
sneak into the stables, and then she wants to just find Old Thunder in there, and just sort of stare him down and just say, "You and me are gonna ride together." So.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to do a stealth check for me first.
Yep.
$18. Okay. Everyone does have a new hero point for the day. So, and also, Anya, we've been forgetting to do Morrigan's special thing. If you wanted to try that, and you can give out those extra hero points now. You're gonna try 3 dice, so we don't want any doubles. Yeah, d6s. So roll 3d6. We don't want any doubles. 2 4s. No extra hero points today.
Every time.
Yeah, it has been unlucky each time. Yeah. But Celia, you wait outside, hanging about near the palisade wall, and you wait for a moment because you can see that the family is very busy. But there is a point where you hear the voice of Mumman, as Anya named her, the mother of the Grumman family, calling out dinner to everyone. Everyone goes rushing inside to what you presume must be the dining room, and the stables are left alone. And you make your way over. One of the doors to the stable has been left ajar in their busyness, and you get inside. The smell of the horses and hay overpowering. You creep forward and find Old Thunder in his own little cubicle, whatever it's called in the stables, his own little bit.
Cubicle.
Cubicle at his desk, typing away. What do you do?
She's
On the toilet.
She's gonna like climb up onto the side bit of the cubicle.
Mm-hmm.
And like just like literally try and swing from like a banister, kind of like hanging piece of supporting wood, like straight onto him, and then just grab on.
You leap onto his back, and immediately he whinnies and neighs and tries to buck you off.
Yep.
Could you please make a reflex saving throw?
I can indeed.
Old Thunder has a DC.
Damn.
Oh, even with, and immediately you feel the strength of this old warhorse, the muscle beneath you. You are sent up into the air, but you manage to get, as your lower half leaves the back of the horse, your upper half lunges forward and grabs around Old Thunder's sides, and you manage to anchor yourself on his back. He continues to kind of shift in the place, but there's not that much space for him to run in here, and he does stop bucking after maybe 10-15 seconds.
She just
and you
says,
find
like,
yourself
whilst
sat on
it's
his back.
happening, she's just like, I need you to save your mum. Sort of like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, eventually he kind of comes to a bit of a standstill, and you're sat on his back, but you can still hear him like scraping at the ground with his hoof and like neighing, and just seems uncomfortable still.
Yeah. Would she have been able to like unhook the door beforehand? I forgot to say. Not open it, just like unhook the latch.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you could do that.
Could she like try and kick the door open now it's unlatched?
Well, you're on his back.
Yeah.
So if you think of the logistics of it, your legs aren't going to be able to kick far forward enough. He's also huge.
Is there anything I can like reach around, like a bit of wood, like poke it open with?
You could see like a a rake for raking hay off to the side. You can reach down and try and grab it.
Yeah, she'll try and do that.
Okay. As you kind of shift your weight to reach down, he will try and buck again. He is
Yeah.
not happy. So if you can make another reflex save for me, please.
Hero point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the 23 again. Yeah, so he bucks, and you do slide slightly, but with your strength, you manage to hold on, grab up the rake, pull yourself back up with a grunt and a groan onto his back as he settles back down again. Another unhappy whinny. But you find yourself sat on his back like a strange impersonation of a knight with your rake in your hand.
Yeah. So she's gonna like open the door and try and get him to trot out into the sort of central bit of the stable.
Okay. As you press open the door, or actually this would probably be a pull. You pull the door in with the hook element of the rake. Old Thunder kind of shifts back slightly and then begins to move forward. He breaks immediately into like a sprint and just goes thundering, and you can see how he gets his name, the sound of his hooves on the ground, forward. All this muscle moving beneath you. Can I have another buck save, please? Saving reflex save.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fuck.
Okay. This time, as he moves outside, it takes everything just to stop yourself go flying off from the sprint. Then he kind of digs his hooves in, and all the momentum goes flying forward, and he kicks up with his back legs, and you just go head over arse, over the front of him, onto the ground. And you take 3 points of damage as you smack into the ground.
Am I meant to be on 11 HP? I can't remember.
Don't think so.
No.
You'd just be 3 under maximum.
Do you mind updating it for me just because I don't know my keyboard?
Yeah, of course. And Thunder doesn't stop. Once you're thrown off, he just goes tearing round the inside of the stables, and you begin to hear the sound of the Grumman family being alarmed inside the building.
She's going to try and jump back onto him.
Okay. Big warhorse
Yeah.
running around. What's your plan for jumping onto the back of him?
She's going to... This is the stupidest fucking idea I've ever had. Is there any rope around first?
There are ropes, yeah.
She's going to try and lasso him first.
Okay. You use the rope, you kind of tie a makeshift lasso at the top of it. Make an attack roll for me, please.
With like an unarmed fist. Would that do?
This would be
Or a long sword.
unarmed fist is fine.
Okay.
As long as it's showing your... Well,
Well, it'd
no,
be two
yeah.
less, I think, than the long sword.
Okay, yeah. 14. Just checking his AC. The lasso goes out, and it looks like it's making its way towards him, and Thunder shifts, like lowers his head towards the side, and just comes straight towards you in the enclosure, Celia. What do you do? He's bearing down on you.
I'm gonna try and roll out the way.
Okay. Make a acrobatics check for me, please. Or a reflex save, whichever you prefer.
Reflex save, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a lot better at them. 18.
Alright, 18. Yeah, 18 is enough. It comes thundering towards you, all the dust and dirt kicking up behind him. You roll to the side, and the space that you just left is immediately filled with the crushing weight of Old Thunder as you see he would have just smashed straight through you had you still occupied that space. At this point, the shouts of the Grumman family, "What's going on? Dad, Thunder's gotten out!" are all calling out, and you can see they're emerging to come around. Do you do anything in this time?
She's got to make one last big play to get on him, so she's going to try and like use the rake to try and like vault herself up onto him.
Holy shit. That will be an athletics check.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
18. Probably not enough.
Okay. You brace yourself, planting the end of the rake into the ground, pushing down, and you think you've sized it up well. But as you go launching towards Thunder, you think you've judged his sprinting gait around just right. He stops in place, and there's almost like a flash of smug intelligence in his eyes as you just go hurtling in front of his face because he just stopped his momentum completely. You don't take any damage, but you go skidding over the other side. And at this point, Larcel, the father of the Grumman family, is just there like, "What's all this? What's going on?"
He just kind of looks up like, hi.
Right, you get Thunder. Yes, get the treats. Get Thunder. Miss Brunt, what were you thinking? What's happening?
Just stupid idea. I'm sorry.
Let's get you out of here. Thunder would take your head off if you're not careful.
Would Scrick obviously be in the house?
Yeah?
I think he would have come out then with his dad.
Yeah.
Looks like she's trying to steal the horse, Dad.
Miss Brunt, are you trying to steal my pride and joy?
No, I was trying to get him to... trying to familiarise myself with him. Or him with me, rather. But
He'd
let's
like...
see how well that went.
He'd crossed his arms when Scrick said about stealing, but he kind of uncrosses them a little bit. And he's like, "You're not alone, Miss Brunt, in wanting to tame Thunder. He's a powerful, independent soul. I've only ever seen him take to the grindstones. He came here with Amareya when she first showed up all those years ago. He seems to be able to smell grindstone blood. It's a real shame that Arnlin pulled out. He's an incredible horse to have on your side. But if he's not going, then I don't think Thunder will be going anywhere.
Yeah, I gathered that.
He barely tolerates us, to be honest with you. I feel like a servant serving the lord of the manor whenever I'm getting the kids in there to feed him.
Well, make sure, as she kind of looks back at him, His Highness is well looked after.
That I will. Would you like to come in for dinner, Miss Brunt, or have you got your own plans?
Yeah, I'd like that, if that's alright.
Of course. You'll have to put up with a Grumman-sized stool, but I'm sure we can figure something out.
She
And he
nods.
beckons you inside.
Sort of walks up alongside Scrick and just says, what would she say? Just say, "Do you take me for a thief then?"
I just thought it was funny.
She smiles and like sort of chuckles and says, "Suppose it was."
And even if you were a thief, you were going tomorrow, so it doesn't really matter.
True. I could be a great horse thief if I put my mind to it.
Not based on that performance, you couldn't have been.
God, you really know how to let a girl down.
I don't ever have to.
She just smiles again. Let's go try some of this famous Grumman grub then, shall we? Maybe you
It's
can
not good.
Maybe you can show me a junk pile after.
Well, I suppose if you're asking, I can do that.
I've got to see where all these goods are going that I've been showing you.
That's what the wagon's for. I'm gonna make my own on the road supply. And seeing as I'm in charge of the wagon, nobody can argue. He kind of shrugs.
Well, as long as you watch it like a hawk, I think there'll be bandits on the road looking for shiny things, like magpies.
If I try anything, they'll end up dead, like that ash zombie.
That's what I like to hear. He sort of just does that little kind of like light punch on the shoulder thingy that you do.
Turns around, looks at her, and keeps walking.
Yeah. That was exactly the reaction I was expecting.
Yeah, and Skrick is right. The grub isn't great, but you can see how much love the Grumman family has for their mother, as everyone's just like, good job, Ma!
Porridge!
And she talks your ear off, Celia. She's just like, oh, it's so interesting having a brunt here in my house. I'm so sorry, it's all mucky, and just goes on and on.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have a really pleasant evening, as do the rest of you. The evening passes, as does the night. You take your rest, perhaps nervous thoughts of the next day, setting out. As dawn breaks, the sound of Mother Bear's voice calling out across the village, calling the village to wake and be ready. And you all notice that they're essentially doing a slightly toned down version of what's done when the light bearers leave, calling people out to say their goodbyes and wish them good luck. And so you find yourselves gathered in the middle of the town by the statue of Serian Shorestrike, gazing benevolently down upon you all. People wish you, patting you on the back, wishing you good luck, giving you small tokens of good luck, a handkerchief here, a little wooden symbol of a Kiad shawl, or an animal, or one of the transcended, here and there. But people you're being sent with the goodwill of the village behind you. Your horses are ready, saddled up, things squirreled away, and saddlebags are there for you to use as well. But the majority of your goods are in the wagon. You all have in the PCs folder in your journal under odds and sods. You should be able to see the Lumen wagon. I've given it a character sheet just for the purposes of the inventory. So at the moment, in there you have the pavilion tent, the nectar of purification given by the Meadows family, the effervescent ampule given by the sisters
I don't
of
think you've
Girls'
shared it, Tom.
Oh, have I not?
I can see it.
Yeah.
It should be visible to everyone. I'll click it again.
No.
There you go. Show to players.
Oh, yeah. No.
Enough rations for 5 people for 2 weeks each. And 5 bedrolls, a hooded lantern, rope, 3 sets of rope, 5 water skins, 2 sets of flint and steel for lighting fires, and 10 torches as well. Feel free to add things in there that you want to transfer from your inventory or things you thought you would have bought. I also have put the 40 gold pieces gathered by the people of the village to give to you all in there as well.
Where does it say what's in it?
Inventory. Inventory, yeah.
My mine's just blank.
Really?
Mine's not.
For Lumen wagon.
Oh, there you go. The one you shared was. This one isn't. For
Okay.
whatever reason.
Weird.
Okay, cool.
There you go. So is there anything you guys would want to do before you're leaving? As in stowing items or anything like that?
I'm gonna put some stuff on the cart, on the
Mhm.
wagon, but no. I mean, she's done all her goodbyes. She's definitely packing some more vegetables. Probably plant some seeds before she goes as well. That's it.
Got my ferret on the wagon.
Oh, of course. Very nice. let's add that in. I can't, but yeah. Your parrot's there, very cool. I think I've given everyone control, yeah. So yeah, feel free to do that retroactively as needed, if you think of things as you go, as long as it's reasonable. But yeah, the horses are prepared, the wagon's there, families are out in full force to say goodbye. Celia, you get a huge, forceful bear hug from your mother, crushing you a little bit.
Yeah, she just say, "Stop it, I'll be back before you bloody know it."
You kind of sniff and just say, "Yep, I'll be counting the days. Gonna miss your stupid little face."
She just sort of does like a kind of wry grin.
Your Uncle Boone is there. He's just sobbing openly.
Take care of Booney, Mum.
Be safe. Don't let the horrible things of the world get you down.
Love Boone.
He's calling out.
Oh.
But yeah.
Primrose would also bring a little Dandy's little flower pot that he sleeps in at night. She'd bring that as well.
Oh my god. My heart. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Absolutely.
Can I look to my grandmother's window and then do the Wind Waker wave goodbye?
Oh, of course. And you see, she's there, and at first you're kind of confused because she's not waving back, and then you realise it's because her hands are slowly holding up Mr. Muffin Paws, and she's got his little paw in her hand, and she's waving back and forth with Mr. Muffin Paws, who looks royally pissed off, as per usual.
It's really cute.
But yeah, each of you say your goodbyes. The horses are lined up. You're going to be walked out with two of the Grumman children to each horse to help make sure there's no accidents, just at least leaving the settlement. Old Rolo the Weave Walker, stands in front, as she does with the light bearers as well. Gives her blessing, the blessings of the Weave Water. May the winding streams of fate guide you to your destination and bring you home to us. He shares eye contact with each of you, gives you a solemn nod, says fate be by your side. Arnlin Grindstone is standing off to the side, arms crossed, looking quite sulky. He does look sober. Standing by Serian's stand.
No, we might
As
have
he-
missed that, to be fair.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Arnlin Grindstone is there, looking sober and very sulky, arms crossed by Serian's stand.
There you go.
I did hear. Wait, I don't know why Hannah said I didn't hear it,
Oh,
but I
good,
did.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm not approaching him or anything.
No.
Oh, and the only other thing is you would see if without the sexual overtones, that you would practically see Lady Jinna Oakleaf holding Lord Forswain back by a fucking leash, because he is gritted teeth, scowling at Celia, and Lady Jinna is just with her force of will is keeping him in place. Willen is saying very sobbing goodbyes to little Foria Oakleaf. But yeah, you'll gather on your horses and begin to be walked out, kind of unsteady a little bit on the back of the horses, onto the trail that will lead you towards Sea Spray.
Oh. Yep.
So I'll take us over.
Shit. I had a really good idea, by the way, Tom. I thought it was a good
Yeah.
point to initiate this, since now we're at the village. I thought that you could create a separate Discord text channel for the campaigns where we can type in NPCs, and then when anyone was like, "Oh, I can't remember who that NPC was. Let me check my notes." It's like, well, hopefully someone's written it in the NPC chat.
Okay, cool. So a text channel within the Lights of Lumen.
Yeah.
NPCs Lights of
I only thought
Like
of it earlier today.
that?
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I like that idea a lot. So you're heading out on the road. The Grumman children let go and hand you the reins of the horses. Those of you that are riding, so Morrigan would be the only one. Oh no, and Primrose. The maths wasn't working in my head then. Morrigan and Primrose, you're handed the reins. Celia and Gwilyn, you're on the back of the wagon. Scrick, you are up front with Baroness and Shadow.
Dreamer and Shadow.
Dreamer and Shadow, thank you. At the front, and you begin on your way. So, you are following a road. There's no need for a survival check or anything. This is a well-trodden path between Lumen and Sea Spray. But on your journeys, you may have some encounters. So, for the purposes of that, I would like someone to roll a d20 followed by a d10, please. A 1. Okay.
If you add them
So-
together, it makes 20.
That's true. Early in the morning, the high fire, the sun still low in the sky, beaming down upon you all. The sounds of the grasslands around you. Small creatures. That feel of hot beating sunlight, the low rolling fields around, the occasional copse of trees or protruding hill off in the distance, the feel of the packed dirt of the road beneath the hooves as you're all trying to get used to being on horseback, but you know you'll be going to sleep as you did last night, very, very achy this night as well. But you begin on your way. Those in the back of the wagon, it is a bumpy ride, but at least you're not getting bonked in the butt constantly from your amateur horse riding skills. So, as you crest midday, it has been uneventful so far. Perhaps you've shared some words trundling along. But as you crest midday, all of you, this isn't a hidden thing, all of you spot coming along the road in the opposite direction. You see their dust cloud. It looks like quite a few people with wagons and horses, though many of them are walking, and the whole contingent is moving at a walking pace, are traveling towards you. From a distance, you see a few of them waving. Do any of you particularly react in any way?
I don't think Celia would see, right? 'Cause she's in the back with Gwilym.
That's true.
Would,
Yeah.
I imagine someone else would be the first
Would
to
they
see.
be
Correct.
wearing anything in particular, or?
As they get a bit closer, you could do a perception check for me, Primrose.
Rick could think they're on a road. Not surprising seeing anyone coming. So he's just going to keep the cart going unless anyone says stop or anything.
Yeah, sounds good.
What did you want, sorry? Perception?
Perception, please. Oh, very nice. Yeah, Primrose, you pick out a few things. One, these people seem to share, or rather don't share, a common cultural theme. There is a whole panoply of different types of clothing. Many of the carts and wagons look like they come from different places in the world. Some of the horses look very different, notably to the others, and they're dressed differently. The saddles are different. But one thing you do notice as common amongst them all is that each wears in some form on their person either a necklace or embroidered into their clothes, or as banners on their wagons, a familiar symbol to you, the symbol of Amlane. Amlane is one of the transcended mortals of Hespia. Amlane, the Wandering Hearth, known as a patron god of traveling folk. The idea of the symbol of hers is the two open hands carrying like a burning campfire. She's known as and her teachings and her culture are all about giving good shelter and hospitality to people on the road. The road is a place for safety, and people who travel on the road or nomadic people are all one family together. So you're not surprised to see this kind of happy waving and cooling from the people as they approach you.
Okay. Scrick said he's not moving. He is moving if he's not stopped. So she will just say to Scrick, if you just slow down, I'll catch up. I just want to go see if they've seen anything, if they know anything. I think any information we can get would be useful. You know, maybe not, but worth asking. I'll catch up in a minute.
Yeah, he's gonna bring it. He's gonna slowly bring it down.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Primrose will ride over to them by herself.
Mm-hmm.
And give them a friendly wave from a slight
Yeah,
distance first.
As you clearly approach them, Primrose, you don't have to say the first word. You are greeted warmly by many different people, kids hanging out the side of the wagons, a friendly face right up the front, a few of them just being like, good day, what finds you travelling the road?
Good day to you as well. I'm kind of new to the road, so I thought maybe I'd come and ask for maybe some tips, any tricks you might have for surviving out here. Also, more specifically, just to see if you've seen anything weird on your travels. Maybe something involving a really big warhorse.
An older woman, in your first little sentence of your first time on the road, clutches at her chest. It's just like, oh my, a blessing. She calls out to the rest of the caravan. It's just like, we get to welcome someone new into our home, and there's like a cheer from everyone.
No.
And you can see people like emerging from their wagons carrying like delicious looking foods and like rugs, and they quickly construct almost like a makeshift like sitting room almost. Barrels are rolled out and cushions placed on top of them, and she's just like, young one, I can see you look perhaps not too experienced on your steed there, so I understand if you want to stay high and dry, but I will take no offense, but know that you are welcome in our home, as she like gestures quite dramatically to the makeshift living room that's being constructed right before your eyes.
Yeah. Primrose would hop down from I've forgotten the name of the horse now, but she would hop down from. She'd just sort of hesitantly hold the reins, like, are you gonna run away if I let this go? Dandy, you hold on to the horse.
Almost comically, Sweets' face like turns towards you and has like a guilty expression, just like, maybe.
Yeah. She just gives the reins to Dandy and hopes for the best.
Yeah, Dandy clasps the reins, and to anyone looking, seeing this like tiny leaf creature holding the reins, but Sweets is very well behaved and just stands there obediently.
It's like baby Grogu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grogu. She'll sit in their little makeshift thing, and she'll sort of look over to Scrick, see if he's still slowly moving forward. I don't really have long, but yeah, you're right. I'm not very good at riding the horse. Yeah, but his name is Sweet. He's sweet so far.
The old woman would smile and just be like, my dear, you are already better than most. You are treating your steed with good grace. Please, and she like gestures, and you see a few of the children again, all dressed in all manner of different clothing. Some in like robes, some just wearing colourful like shorts, some with like almost like a warrior's kind of harness, but built for a child. They run up and run around Sweets and like offer him plucked grass and fruits and things like that, and kind of happily around him, and he just looks like he's on cloud nine.
No, cute.
But she turns back to you and says, to answer your questions, my dear, we have seen some strange things. No great warhorse. Maybe 30 miles back towards Sea Spray, some of the trail has sunk deep. It has become like a bog or a swamp. We had to take a long diversion around. It took many days out of our journey, but
Oh dear.
simply wasn't possible to push through. Beyond that, there is an orchard outside Sea Spray. There was a nasty smell coming from there, smell of death.
Oh dear.
We gave it a broad berth, much like the swamp itself. We are not we are an inquisitive people, but danger we prefer to keep at a great distance. We do not invite danger into our home.
No, we kind of prefer to avoid danger too. That's usually the best part of the course. But I'll just you say you had to go around. She's sort of like, does she have the map? She has the map. I'm going to assume she has the map on her. She's going to pull the map out, and she's, if you don't mind just showing me where, that would be really helpful.
Oh, of course. And yeah, she draws on the map across. Here, it is as if the ground itself has oiled into a swamp. The path is gone completely, and for miles either side, it is just thick, deep swamp and bog.
Which way would you recommend going around?
We diverted to the south. The swamp looked to be widening out, stronger. We think it may have come from the north, whatever is causing it, but it took us many days to go around it.
Oh, well, thank you for that information. I
course.
don't really have anything to offer you, except you're really near Lumen, and that's where we're from. You'll really
Yes.
like it there if you're going there to visit.
Oh, this is great news. We were traveling towards Lumen. We've heard many great things. These are my family. As she turns, and you see all like they must be in the hundreds of people all across this caravan.
Gosh, yeah.
We are all one under the wandering hearth, the great mother for us all. We travel from place to place. Anyone who wishes to join us is welcome. But we just want to see the sights of the world and live always moving together.
Could Celia have got out of the wagon at this point and sort of moved
Yeah,
up
absolutely.
And just sort of like, who are your friends, Prim?
Well, these are just travelling folk. Have you heard of the Amlane?
Celia definitely would have.
Yeah, she nods.
Well, I believe these are the flags of the symbol flags of Lumen. Amlane.
They most certainly are. A pleasure to meet you. As she reaches a hand out towards you, Celia.
Yeah, she shakes it.
It's an enthusiastic shaking. She's like, please, step into my home. You are welcome.
And they're on their way to Lumen, Celia.
Oh, say hi to, if you need anything fixed up, and say, look out for, fuck me, I can't remember her name. It's gone from my brain. Fucking mum's name.
Hard, you know.
Tilia.
Tilia Brunt.
Yeah, and the meadows. If you give them this, and she plucks one of the petals from one of the flowers they've given, her family have given her. If you give them this, they'll know that you've met me, and thou maybe even do you a picnic.
She smiles a broad smile, and she's like, please, a gift for a gift in my own home. And she like gestures behind her, and you see a few of the kids like scurry up into one of the wagons, and they bring out for each of you like a beautiful, completely mad-looking necklace of like chunky beads, some of them glass, some of them wooden and painted, just completely this mishmash of different colors and such. And the kids run up to each of you and like hold up this chunky necklace towards you.
Celia immediately calls back to Scrick like, God, she's going to try and come up with a code word, I think, here. She's just going to call back to Scrick and say, Oi, Scrick, pile time.
What? We gotta get going. This is taking too long.
She just
We're barely out of the village.
she takes the like little bees and just waves them in his direction so he can see them.
Pile time.
How much for these beads?
They're giving them away.
What? How many are you giving away then?
You are welcome in my home. Take a seat, and you will be furnished with a gift.
One set of beads?
Have you need for more?
No, but I want more.
How many would you like?
I don't know, about 50.
50. That is a great appetite to carry with you.
So I got a... And he pats the wagon.
She scratches her chin, looks at you, Primrose, gives you a little wink.
Yeah.
I think we can do 50. And she like does a little double clap, and you see many of the other wagons like burst out with people now, all carrying various little trinkets and bits. Some of them necklaces, beads, woven, small like miniature, like a tapestry kind of thing, like an embroidered piece. All sorts, wooden carved pieces, and they all just start walking in like a little troop up to your wagon, Scrick, and just tossing the things into the back of the wagon.
Very nice. I thank you a lot. Maybe I should give you some in. Here you go. He's going to hand for Jinkin, not with Jinkin. You know the nasty one. He's going to give him that.
In the vomit.
Yeah.
You hand over, you pull out the bottle, and inside is this traumatized gremlin that's just looking out with this like shell-shocked expression. The woman's eyebrow cocks, and to her credit, she doesn't look shocked. She's just like, a captive gremlin? Very kind, thank you.
All we gotta do is promise not to free him until I'm gone.
Until you're gone. Of course.
Yep.
This promise I can make.
What was your name?
My name is Araya.
I hope you find something to do with that little guy. I had no idea, and you seem like you got a good head on your shoulders, so I'm trusting you here. And thanks for the beads. I've got a lot of ideas for him.
May I ask what he did to earn his current state?
He tried to kill us. Most of it, so...
That is no good. Is
Yeah,
he far from home now?
He's not too far. But, he was stealing a lot of stuff from Lumen, so we thought... Well, I didn't really know what to do with him, to be honest.
I see. Well, he has traveled. You have taken him on the road. That is, already a blessing of some sort. He will be safe with us. And she hands him off to one of the kids. And a load of the kids, like, put the bottle down and just sit around it like, whoa, and just start poking the bottle.
Yeah, no problem. You scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. If anything, you're doing me a favor.
Of course. Well, It is a joy to share my home with such wonderful people. You have a fine selection of steeds here. Will it be okay if their children can feed them some treats, not just sweets?
Old Thunder isn't with us, is he?
Old Thunder is back in Lumen.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
I guess Scrick is in charge of the horses, and he's like, yeah, don't feed them too much, don't get fat.
Of course. And she waves her hand, and a load of the kids cheer and start running over to the horses and feeding them bits and pieces. The woman, Araya, calls over to you, Morrigan. Just says, I don't want you to feel a stranger.
I mean, feeling them's not my intention.
You're very welcome in our home if you wish to come sit.
Thank you. That's very generous of you. I'm gonna just sort of, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I'm just sort of adjusting at the moment.
I understand. Forgive
I'm
me.
just pretty sure it's a cult, so.
Forgive me, madam. I cannot help but notice you wear your markings proudly. Where are you an eternal?
Once upon a time, I was a long time ago.
It is a bravery I can never know to step away from eternity and walk elsewhere.
There are a lot of people in the world who don't get a shot at eternity, and so I think it's been my personal honor to try and extend that that finite amount of time for as much as I can.
She holds your expression as like a real look of understanding there. She's like, most honorable. You are an impressive group. I feel glad knowing that you walk the great roads of Amlane.
Yeah, and us too, knowing that such hospital. She said can't say the word properly because Hannah can't. People on the road that we can rely on if we meet.
Of course.
But yeah, thank you for the necklace. I really like it because you're really good at arts and crafts, and definitely show my family if you meet them in Lumen because they'll really appreciate these.
We will look out for other beautiful rabbit folk. And she like smiles warmly at you.
If you could also just mark where you saw you said you smelled dead things.
Oh, of course, the orchard.
Yeah.
It was not far outside Seaspray itself.
Oh yeah. Okay. She sort of shows that to the rest of the group, and they said we might have to go around all the way. It's quite swampy, and I don't think we'll get our wagon through. We'll have to figure something out. But we should get going though. We are on a bit of a rush.
Of course. If you are in a rush, the diversion will ruin your day. He kind of looks at each of you up and down. If you aren't quite so hesitant around danger as we are, perhaps you might help. I know Amlane would look warmly upon someone who could bring her paths back. I don't know what is causing it, but we think the source is to the north. When we went to the south, we found a hill, and you could see that it seemed to spread outwards from north of the road. But of
Maybe we
course,
should try that.
up to you. But yes, thank you for sharing a delightful moment with us. And she like raises up and claps again, and everyone goes like tumbling back into the wagons. You can see the kids bundle up the the jinkin in the bottle and run back off into the wagons with it.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're each helped back up onto your horses if you accept the help as well, if necessary.
It's not necessary, but she'll accept it anyway.
Yeah.
Well done, sweets. You were really good. Hope you enjoyed all your treats.
Does like a happy little head shake.
Well, we gotta go now, though. She sort of kicks off with Dandy on her head again.
Yeah, when you went to pick up Dandy, you could see a few of the kids were just like completely fascinated with him, and he was doing one of his favorite tricks of trying to look just completely still like a plant, and then when one of the kids leans in, he like shakes his leaves out and runs around, and the kids run off.
A Dandy classic. She sort of holds him down towards them to say goodbye. Say goodbye, Dandy.
He waves one of the little leaves, and the kids are just like big grins on their faces, waving back up.
Yeah, she just puts him back on her head and looks to everyone else.
Very nice.
Yeah, after they set off again, Scrick will say to no one in particular, "Hey, those suckers traded a jinkin for 50 lots of beads."
Celia just says, remember to thank your finder's fee, and then sort of looks to Primrose.
Yeah. Just chucks her a bead.
Thanks. I'm just kind of glad that we don't have the jinkin anymore.
You can have more than one if you want.
I'm okay.
I guess there are beads if we're traveling on a cart. For now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess we've got lots of things to trade if we need to. She kind of looks to Scrick for a reply to that.
Trade? They might. I mean, ours.
Maybe not.
Maybe you could always use them to get even better stuff, right?
I suppose. As where the beads are, he'd like try and draw them with his leg towards him.
Scrape them into a taller pile.
I'm just imagining a whole layer of beads on the wagon floor now that Celia
not ideal.
Killins or whatever it is got to sit on.
I mean, they aren't just beads. It's all manner of like different things. They are roughly all bead size though, so yeah, either way it would definitely be potentially uncomfortable.
Nice.
Celia would sort of look to Primrose and just sort of look down at Dandy and just say, I never did ask Prim, but what is Dandy?
Well, it's hard to explain, but one day I found a seed and I planted it like, I do all the seeds, and well, I nourished it and I watered it, and well, Dandy just came from this particular seed. Now he's with me.
You two seem pretty close.
Yeah, we kind of are, aren't we, Dandy? Kind of pets him on the head.
Yeah, he'd shake his little leaves.
And he keeps the sun out of my eyes too.
She just smiles at that and just says, "You're pretty cool, Prim."
Oh, thanks, Senior. You're pretty cool as well. And I think we're going to have a really good time on the road, even if we do face any danger. I trust all of you. I think we'll do really well. We'll find everyone hopefully okay and well together.
Yeah, she just does the little fist bump on the shoulder again, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Primrose is not used to fist bumps on the shoulder,
Yeah.
so she dramatically goes back a bit. But she kind of does a weak meek one against you as well. Is that how you do it? Like that?
I don't know, something I'm trying.
Oh. Maybe you could show me again.
Yeah, she just fist bumps again.
She like braces this time and is a bit takes it a bit more. Oh, thanks.
That's all right. What do you think? Maybe the light bearers found this swamp and they went north, and whatever happened to them happened when that was happening.
Well, I'm more worried about the orchard part, really. Where it smells
Yeah.
like death, apparently.
When we could see what's north of the swamp and then double back.
Yeah.
I don't want to go straight past them if they've, you know.
I mean, if the cause of the swamp being not traversable is slightly north of the road, then maybe we can just deal with it and not have to take such a detour. We don't really have the time.
I just want to
Yeah.
investigate and see if the light bearers have, you know, have went there, or, you know, sure, if they'd seen this, they would have tried to deal with it. So maybe maybe they did, and that's what happened to them. That's why Old Thunder came running back.
Maybe we should just go to them in order.
How long was it between when they left and when they came back, Tom?
When the light bearers left,
Yeah. And what was the time difference between the horses running home and them leaving?
It's quite a big difference, right? I think because they were meant to have been by that Red Cross, I think, right?
yeah,
Tom?
about 2 weeks.
But
So
The light
it's-
bearers had been gone about a month.
So it's unlikely they'd be at the swamp because it's too short a distance, right?
It's if Old Thunder was just running straight back, yes, that wouldn't make any sense. If he'd been
Maybe.
like captured or held
yeah,
or
that's what
something.
I was thinking. Maybe they were captured.
But yeah, if the Diamond's immediate thought was that Old Thunder had come back, and so it would make sense for them to have been where that red cross is up.
Mm.
It's worth
I say
investigating, though.
we stop at the swamp. If we see anything dodgy, then we have a look. If we don't, we just plow on.
Yeah.
And I'm driving the cart, so
Yeah, I think it's worth having a look at least.
Yeah.
If we
If
can't see any signs that they've been here, then I agree.
it's
Just
also
move on.
if it helps us avoid such a long detour as well.
Yeah. Alright, boss cart man. Get the reins going.
it was worth it for his pizza. Thanks, Primrose. Then he'd get it going again.
That's right. It
Nice.
was nice meeting them as well. Not just
was
for the
fine.
beads.
Mainly the beats, though.
Well, okay.
Celia would approach Morrigan, and she would say, why the sour face, Fate Weaver? You spotted something weird in the weave? Whatever you do.
I think Anya is currently indisposed.
Okay.
I'm afraid.
Is Rev?
Well,
ask Tom then. Is Revna out currently?
I think Revna is out by default.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just put a pin in it and come back to that when she's...
Yeah, that'd be sweet. The day you trot along for the rest of the day. I've marked where you would be on the map by now, about halfway towards where the swamp is marked
Mm-hmm.
on your map. But high fire heads down in the sky, and you find yourselves setting up camp. This road being well walked, there are multiple areas that are most obviously used for campsites. You find yourselves... Oh god, that's super loud. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I usually put my
There
own
you go.
music on to manage the volume better.
And you find yourself camping up for the night. So,
Can't see.
yeah, sorry, I don't know why I have dynamic lighting on for these things. Okay.
Oh, that's a cute little map. Oh,
So, yeah.
huge.
You find yourself setting up. It actually turns out that you guys are actually all in one tent, the big pavilion tent.
Yeah,
But I just thought it was nice to have a little
that's
night
good.
resting map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You set yourselves up for the first time. Many of you are very sore from your day of riding.
Mm-hmm.
You're handling the horses, Skrick, how active would you be in like guiding the others and the horses?
The horses more than the people.
Mm-hmm. Just like taking charge of the horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just
Skrick,
been
you lead
sitting in a
them to
wagon.
water and let them munch away at the grass, get them tied off to a nearby post or a tree or
Yeah.
what have you.
He'd basically be doing whatever his dad taught him to do.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't be doing it with much verve. He'd just be kind of like stompy and be like doing it and mumbling a lot.
Very cool. Yeah. You guys settle yourselves down. Your first night together out on the road.
Primrose casts Protect the Tree above the tent. So we have some extra shade.
Amazing.
She'll go get some fresh water from that little river there, if there is one.
Yeah, there would be.
And gathers up some fresh soil, etc.
If I make any noises in the night, then it's just me wandering around. I'm a very light sleeper, so.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll bear that in
But
mind.
if I need to go toilet, I'll go do it in the river.
Maybe not in the river. We need, yeah. Oh, I suppose if it's, yeah, okay.
Just for you should know,
Yeah.
I go to the toilet a lot in the night.
Oh,
So it's no one sneaking up, it's me just tramping around, you know.
okay. Going for wheeze.
Really wanted to know that.
Well, I thought it was good to mention.
No, I'm being genuine. I really wanted to know it.
Yeah, the thing is, us rat folk have very small bladders, so I can't hold it in for long. And I'm just, I like being empty, you know. No, so
Makes
it's
sense.
just a thing. You have to get used to it if we're on the road.
Who's gonna make the food? I don't.
We'll give it a shot if you
Okay,
want.
I just just because I want to let everyone know I don't eat meat if anyone forgets.
That's good. I was going to say, don't eat the horses. We need them.
Oh no, I'd never do that.
I mean, you can give it a go
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
want, Prem.
I can cook really well, I think, but
Yeah.
if anyone else wants to.
No,
Well, I'm not very good at
if you're
cooking
offering.
meat. If anyone wanted that.
I'll eat what you got. I don't really care. Like, I'll eat anything. He takes up one of her beads, puts it in his mouth. He's like, yeah, maybe not that, though. I'd have to sift through it as well. I don't want to do that. Done that too many times.
Yeah, Primrose will make some food. I think she's pretty good at making a stew, like a vegetable stew without meat and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. With everything you brought with you, I know Primrose would have well stocked up on herbs and
Oh yeah.
bits and pieces before she came, and you cook up a delicious meal that everyone is very well taken by, and this lovely smell wafts out up into the air. And you all find yourselves sat with a warm, full belly, the beautiful stars up above you. Brighter, this is the brightest point for the stars in the year, as Cena herself is furthest, most diminished in the sky. This is the time in the year when the great moon is least seen, and so the brightness of the stars is allowed to flourish. It's quite beautiful.
Primrose sits with her plate of food by the fire, and a bit like as if she was sitting in sand, she sort of like shuffles up the soil and covers her feet with it, just to feel a bit more closer to the earth.
Absolutely. And yeah, you feel the warmth of the earth beneath you and very much feel the presence of your connection.
Celia just sort of lays under the stars of Gwillem and just says, "We're actually doing it. It's pretty cool, right?"
Yeah. There's just so many things. The people on the road, being here under the stars with you. It's all just happening.
I know. It's yeah, I'm pretty speechless to be honest, but yeah. I'm glad you're here to share it with me.
Yeah, she like snuggles in close to you. You share the night sky together.
As everyone's sort of laying around, Primrose will send Dandy off to go and give everyone a point of health.
Oh, that's cute.
Just this little warm blessing from Dandy. See his little leaves shake as he toddles along to each of you. The briefest of touches, you just get this warm glow like the sun shining on your skin briefly. Dappled sunlight through a forest canopy just settles on your skin, and there's a feeling of health and warmth from it.
Is that actually
Amazing.
your HP there, Celia? Or have you got
No,
No, I think
No.
it should be 21, I think, or something, right?
more? Okay.
she'd be fully back
Oh,
now because you,
oh, yeah,
you
of course.
slept before the day. So yeah,
Okay.
eventually you head off into the tent to sleep. Are you guys setting a watch or anything?
I was going to ask, how much XP are we meant to be on? Because I know you said
Oh,
that we might be on
yes.
the wrong amount.
No, you're absolutely right. So there was the big level up after Horsehair Hollow. I noticed this as well, that I hadn't been giving out XP during RP, which is not my intention. With everything having happened, the infiltration under Lumen Hall, your different RP elements, stealing something from Forswain's study, everything all told, I'll say you guys are on 300 XP now. So it resets,
Oh, right.
if that's unclear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it resets for each level.
Hold on, I'm confused.
And we are using quick leveling for level 1 to 2 as well.
So we're
so-
level 2 now, are we?
You are
No.
level 1
Level 1 with 300 XP.
with 300 XP.
Well,
When
we-
that gets to 800, you will become level 2.
Because we hit 800 from level
So we
0,
hit
got to
800.
level 1, and
Yeah.
now we're now at like a third, and
So
just
now we're
under
300.
halfway to
Yeah.
level 2.
Very cool. Are you setting a watch, or are you just sleeping away?
Probably should set a
Yeah, I
watch.
think we should set
Anya
watches.
says Morrigan will do one.
Yeah.
If
might as
Anya was
well
back,
if
Celia
anyone
would
wasn't.
go ask her the question she did before.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Is Anya returning? You got your microphone? You got your microphone? Okay. That's alright. You okay? Oh, love, I'm sorry. She is about to turn on her microphone. Celia's about to ask Morrigan about the interaction with the travelling people. It did log you out of... Yeah?
Go ahead, please, caller.
She would just say, like, what's got you so quiet, Fate Weaver? You spotted something in the weave, or whatever you do?
Not necessarily. I'm just taking it all in, you know?
Yeah. Have you travelled much before?
Yeah. What more? He's from very far away, do you think?
I can show you directly. I'll just...
Because she's from quite a wealthy family, isn't she? So I imagine she might well have travelled a bit.
So if you look at the map, north of Lumen,
Mm-hmm.
Rain on the Roof is where Morrigan came from, but she could have travelled around before that. It's not too likely, just because Eternal Elf communities are very isolationist and often don't travel too far from the community.
That's good to know. Thank you very much.
That's all right.
Yeah, they maybe not so much as maybe some other people have. Also, I don't want to know what that noise was Kieran just made.
Go on.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ, that's horrifying. Bedtime in your house must be so terrifying. Anyway,
Noises.
yeah, not as much as some other people, but the place that I'm from, definitely very, very different from anywhere I've been before.
Yeah, you travel more than me. First time for everything. What's your
Well,
home like?
pretty fancy.
Very in tune with nature, living amongst the trees. Nothing is cut, or you don't have like stone or wood buildings. It's like living amongst nature. A big part of your people's, or the people in Rain on the Roof, is like wood shapers. They grow the trees in ways that can support them, so they can like sleep up in the branches and stuff like that. It would be very different to Lumen, yeah.
Okay, yeah, she'd try and explain this to Celia.
That sounds fucking weird, to be honest with you.
Hey,
But I guess, I mean, when you first came to Lumen, I bet the way we live was just as weird
Yeah.
to you.
admittedly, it did seem pretty weird to me, but you know, I went there for a purpose.
Why? I mean, I get wanting to leave your home, but why did you? You don't really seem like the type, if you don't mind me saying.
No, not at all. I was trying to make sure that my existence had done some good in the world.
I mean, you came to Lumen for that?
I'd heard a lot about Rolo.
Fair. You probably know more about it than I do, even before you came. It's pretty,
Well,
I don't know, out there.
Yeah, she's pretty. She's an interesting character.
Say that again. Does
Yeah,
where you came from have its own sky singer?
no, there's nobody else in the world like Rolo.
I think she was referring to like the people who block the
I
or
don't
the
know.
volcano
I would
stuff.
assume possibly.
It doesn't, because you live amongst the trees. Your people are sheltered by the trees themselves. Each individual in Rain on the Roof has a tree that they essentially meditate under during the ashfall, and the ash doesn't fall on them.
That sounds pretty cool. I've got to run.
Celia would just, in response to that, would just be like, kind of shocked, just like, you find it hard to believe that you'd survived the ashfall without a sky singer, but I mean, guess you're living proof.
Yeah. Anya has disappeared again. God bless her. She's not feeling very well.
That's fine.
But yeah,
That's all I had to
you
say.
learn.
Really.
You get this little glimpse into eternal elf culture. They
Interesting.
are strictly isolationist,
Mm.
and so don't often trade information. But Rolo is one of few people known to speak with others. Oh, Anya is still listening. Okay. Amazing. So, you take your watches. The night passes without incident, and you find yourselves yawning away the aches and stiff pains of a previous day's horse ride in the morning. Make sure you've done your daily preparations. I know we're only level 1. If there's anything that you need to sort.
Do we take rations off?
Because it's given by weeks.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
I'm gonna keep it in mind and track it for you guys because it's easily done with the weeks thing.
Yeah.
So that is fine. So
Cool. That makes so much more sense to track it by weeks rather than
you
fucking
head
days.
you head back on the road. And start moving away. Well, before too long, again, probably just after midday, you see what you've been expecting to see. Huge, swampy area. It's very strange because it doesn't look like the wildlife is there. It's not like someone's taken a load of swamp and plonked it down here. There's no, toads and all manner. But the actual physical ground itself just stops being this lovely, like, grassland, dry path. It just falls away into thick, muddy, wet swamp. And you're forced to sort of come to a stop or risk losing the wagon and the horses trying to head into the swamp as you see this great expanse of swamp in front of you. What do you do?
They said there's a way around.
From your meeting with the traveling people of Amlane, you know that they took a route around to the south, and sort of as you gaze off to the left, you can see to the south the swamp goes on and on and on. But eventually you think it must end. They skirted around it, but they did tell you it took them many days to go around.
Can I investigate or search for any hazards? Or search is probably the better one, actually.
What's your perception modifier?
I think it's +6.
They said that they saw the source coming from slightly north of the road, didn't they?
They believe that the source of it is to the north, yeah.
6, Tom, is there?
6. Yeah, you hop down from the wagon, Celia, and you start taking a look, and Gwilyn comes with you. Between the two of you, you kind of scan the edge of it. You notice during the time that you're scanning it, you lean right in, and you can see the swamp expanding, like individual blades of grass just kind of sinking down into the wet mud. This looks supernatural.
It looks like it's getting bigger. It looks like it doesn't look real.
Would Primrose be able to recognise its naturiness, whether it's real or magical in its?
What is your nature modifier for me, please?
Nature is modifier is
7.
7.
7.
Is it 4?
Primrose, you think, because you guys are on the Hunter's Coast, there will be patches of the land around here that are a salt marsh, if there's like a particular inlet or some rivers, the mouths of great rivers leading down into the salt water of the sea. But this doesn't look like that at all. This looks like the kind of swamp you'd find in like a trapped freshwater area next to a lake or a river that has since been blocked off and stagnated and become this like swampy area. It's weird. The swamp itself does look natural, like it's mud, it's water, it's bog. But it just looks so out of place. It just the grassland ends, the swamp begins, and with Celia pointing it out, you do also see that it's like slowly expanding, literally like a snail's pace. You can probably see some poor snail somewhere outrunning it at a snail's pace. The lack of wildlife leads you to think that this, like inserted ecosystem hasn't had time to establish. So maybe that tells you something about how long it's been here.
Okay.
But yeah, very strange. Doesn't feel like the natural. If it was just the swamp, it would feel natural. If it was just the grassland, it would feel natural. But with them forced next to each other like this, it doesn't feel natural.
Does it? So she doesn't think it could come from a particular spell called. There's one I can.
Not a spell. She would be reminded of. So, nature in Archivia is a little different to some of our expectations. IRL, for example, the seasons shifting so haphazardly, but also with the avatars of nature, the Kiad Shore. There are tales of sometimes the Kiad Shore having rivalries or oppositions to each other, and this might remind her a little bit of that. It's almost like Greenswell which is the Kiad shore of the grasslands, fertile soil, farming, and so on, agriculture, plant growth. Perhaps could come into rivalry with what would probably be the Kiad shore of the swampy terrain, which would be loam growth. The Kiad shore of decay, mushrooms, deep soil, muck, primordial kind of ooze kind of thing.
Okay. And does with that information, with it potentially being by Kiad Shur, would she know of anything that they could do about that, particularly if it's gods, you know?
Yeah, she would know that people practice connections, and people practice evoking the different Kiad shore. Part of why the area of Lumen, where you guys did your farming, is called Greenswell's Corner. People have little symbols and little statues, shrines to Greenswell there to help the plants grow. You think maybe this could be something like evoking loam growth in what should be Greenswell's domain.
Okay.
Someone has evoked a different Kiad shore here, perhaps.
Yeah.
This certainly doesn't seem like a singular spell or anything like that.
Okay. Well, the travellers said that it might be coming from slightly north of the road. We could see if the source is coming from there, maybe stop them, but either way, the sun might have to go around at least a bit.
I mean, do you think it'll take longer to stop it or to just go round? Because
well, they said they had to travel for days to go around it.
And how long will it take? How long will it slow us down, Scrick?
I don't know. I'm not a road man.
Normally Lumen to Sea Spray is 5 days.
It's gonna like almost put another third onto our journey then, right?
Maybe
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, but this isn't. We weren't asked to investigate no swamp. Let's just go round.
I think we should investigate it. We should see if. I don't know.
Why? It's not.
Because if we
Not
can stop it,
problem.
then we can also clear the way to Lumen from sea spray for other people as well.
That and
Yeah,
it'll speed us up.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe the light bearers did go off road and something got them. Because if they saw this, then they would have stopped it.
Well, if we go round, we should be able to see it from the other side as well. So we might as well get around first and then worry about it.
Well, if we go around the north way, then we might be able to just see it anyway.
That's a good idea. We could go around the north way rather than south. And then it's going to take us the same amount of time as if we went south, but then we might be able to solve the problem and then double back.
If I'm not getting paid for it, then I guess you'll drag me along.
How much do you want?
No, I don't know what the value of travel along this road is and how much that drives up the prices of commodities.
How about another favour owed from the lovely and wondrous Celia Brunt?
Yeah, I'll do.
She smiles.
Okay, good. I was going to
I know the way
suggest,
to your heart.
a flower crown, but...
Well, we'll take that as well if you're offering.
Okay, I'll make you one tonight.
Excellent. Now let's figure out this swamp.
Amazing.
Yeah,
You turn the wagon and the horses off to the north then.
Yeah.
Begin trudging or moving through the grassland just next to the swamp. And it does, as opposed to the south, which looks like it expands outwards. As you head to the north, it does seem to thin. You find yourselves going to the northwest. And after maybe another couple of hours as you're getting into the later part of the afternoon, you come across what looks to be the end of this swamp incursion. It comes to a point. And in the distance, you see, because you're a little bit higher up, you see this large area which is notably sunken down in the swampiness. Most of it, what was previously grassland, is now water. with thick reeds and slimy, sticky webs of some kind of thick, almost mucus-like material. Strands of it attach between strange, wet-looking plants of thick, large leaves. Some plants almost look like an abundance of tentacles that just kind of sit and move slowly in the wind with these strands of slime. Large lily pads, unnaturally huge, span the surface of the water as well. And you notice that the whole area has this almost like concentric circle pattern to it, with the outside of the water forming a rough circle, and then these broken islands of grassland in amongst the swampy, watery morass form these other concentric circles coming inwards.
This is a strange area.
Yeah.
Can I try and search for any creatures or some kind of sign of what might be?
Yeah, in fact, I'll
causing
even
this?
say, Celia, as you begin to think about this, you do notice movement in amongst the swamp. And from this distance, seemingly distracted by their own activities, are three creatures. Let me do a quick. Could each of you tell me your nature modifier, please?
7.
4.
So, Celia first. 4. Primrose.
7.
7. Morrigan 4.
Grix is full.
And Scrix is 4 as well. Wow,
That's pretty good
okay.
at nature.
Suspiciously consistent rolling there.
Wait.
The rest of you, yeah, I did secret rolls. The rest of you aren't really sure. You recognize the basic features of these creatures, which are they are somewhat humanoid. Kieran's going to be pleased. Frog-like humanoids.
Oh.
Are they muddy in
Primrose.
appearance?
Primrose, you know these creatures to be boggards.
Okay.
Boggards are actually rolled rather well. They are frog-like in appearance. They typically don't deal with or have any interest in living amongst other sapient species. They are not particularly, they have they're perfectly capable in terms of intelligence, but they seem to have a very strong, almost instinctual drive to shun civilization and live out in nature, often to the detriment of others. Because whilst living amongst nature might sound all very nice, their culture often has a very specific way that they think nature should be. So they will reshape areas in the image that they believe they should be. So with Primrose recalling this information, things are kind of falling into place a little bit. It's not too surprising to see them here. You would be aware, Primrose, that boggards are perfectly capable of fighting. Some amongst them can practice magics. They are not to be taken lightly, despite their somewhat not intimidating appearance.
Yeah, I think she would relay all that to everyone else and just be like, I'm not really sure what to do about that though. They're not going to want to leave.
We could drive them off. If they're making the road into a swamp, then...
Yeah. Not a great place to make their house, really.
Are they likely to talk?
Maybe.
People?
I don't know. They've made such a large area. I don't know if they'll be... I mean, it's not hurt to ask, I guess. Will they...
Yeah, also,
might-
but I don't want them to get the jump on us, you know?
Well, if we
just go up and say, hey, and they're just like, stabby stab,
Yeah.
I'd rather us take the initiative.
Well, I can go up and ask them. You can all stand around. Maybe.
I don't like that idea.
Mm.
We should all go in together and...
Would Primrose know how amicable they are to moving off out of their home?
With your knowledge of
Yeah.
their culture, you think very much not.
Yeah.
As most people would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think even if we talk to them, they will be wanting to move, really. I think it probably takes quite a lot of effort to make this big of a swamp, and I wouldn't want to move it.
Let's scare them off then.
Yeah?
That's where they live, though. How do you feel if someone's like, hey, Lumen's in the middle of where I want to go. Move it.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, but this is recent, right?
Yeah.
This looks like they've just come in and just set up camp in someone else's path. The road was there first.
Yeah, they've not really considered the road on the way between Sea Spray and Lumen, really. Maybe... Maybe
Who
if
does
we
the
scare them off,
road
they'll make a
belong
move.
to?
Well...
It belongs to the lords and people of the land, right? Who own the roads.
Can you really own a road, though? Like you can own stuff? I've got stuff, it's right here. But I can't say the road is in my wagon.
I mean, if you pay for and you maintain the road and all that
Well...
jazz, then I mean, you have some right to it, right? If people use it, then they have some right to it, I guess.
As long as we don't have to murder them, I'm fine.
Well,
I'm not saying
I'd rather
murder them,
not,
just
no.
saying scare them off.
Yeah. I think it's a good compromise. Maybe they'll just move up slightly norther and then they won't interrupt the road.
I'll tell you what, I'll offer them some beads, and if that doesn't work, then we can just go round.
Okay.
I mean, we could try the peaceful method. If they don't, then we can use force, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt them, though.
It'll definitely interrupt our way back as well. Even if we go around, what about if the Lightbringers are all injured and we need to get them back quickly? And it's just we need the road, I think.
We'll ask them to move north, and if they don't, then
Maybe
well,
even south. There's a river down that way.
yeah. I mean, let's go up and try. If they attack us, then well, then that's their problem, isn't it?
Yeah. Who's going first?
Out here on the beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
You head down towards the swampy area.
We'll leave our horses a bit far back.
Okay.
And the wagon.
So Scrick, you just like carrying handfuls of beads.
Yeah, in a sort of outstretched thing, so it looks more peaceful.
Okay. Very cool.
Can I
Is anyone else Yeah, go ahead.
just want to defend?
Yeah, I was about to
Got-
say if anyone else wants to prepare anything that as they're going in.
Got my shield up just in case.
Hold on.
I'm standing like I get the impression Scrick's going up first to them with his beads. So I'm gonna stand sort of like the muscle alongside him, like with my shield up and that.
Primrose will
Trying
just...
to look threatening, but not too threatening. Like threatening is like, look, we like, you know, if you fuck with us, clearly we've got strength vibe, but not like aggressively.
With Dandy, if I wanted to give him the actions, I don't need to be touching him, do I? It's not a touch thing.
No, not at all.
No, okay. So she'll just put Dandy on Celia's shoulder for now then.
Okay.
Just to go
Speaking of which, have you rolled your dandy
No, I haven't.
charge for today. And Morrigan, you can roll again because it's a new day for your hero point.
Celia would tell Gwilyn to like sort of stick with Morrigan probably.
2 5s. Stick with Morrigan. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. All right.
Take up the back line.
Tell who, sorry?
The Gwilyn to stick with Morrigan.
Oh, okay, right.
With this being the case, I think I will move us onto the map.
Onto the battle map.
Yes, onto the map where a
Where you
battle
do
could take
battle.
place.
I want to do combat. I'm itching for it.
Edge of Empire is good because you don't have a battle map. It's all done in increments.
Ooh,
Yeah, which is kind of cool.
I like that.
gosh. If you could drag yourselves out into the bottom right-hand corner, please.
Good thing we've got the most diplomatic person in the world going up the beads.
Yeah.
Got your beats.
I can't see as well. Probably
Oh,
in dark.
okay.
It's probably in dark, isn't it? Or no light or
Yeah,
something.
I've got like everything set to
I can
dark
see.
mode. Don't need dynamic lighting here at all. There you go. Should be able to see fine now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Gwilyn as well. Yeah, make sure you put yourselves where you think you would be.
Got shield up.
Morrigan, we're dragging out to the bottom right.
Need to find the right token for it. And then
Barber. And would Revna be out or in the tattoo? Out. Revna. Very cool. Okay, Skrick, you walk forward with your beads as you guys walk down peacefully towards this swampy area. The boggards do seem to take notice. Some of them hop a little bit closer, their frog legs letting them move easily amongst the swampy terrain, splashing and leaping. And as you get to the edge of the swamp, do you declare anything, or do you wait for them to speak, or not speak, or...
He's going to be like, salutations!
The larger of the 3 boggards, seemingly wielding a staff. The head of the staff is like a stylized long earthworm and a well-known symbol of loam growth, the Kiadshaw.
Ooh, cool.
The creature does respond to you. Croaks. Are you safe, little...
Yeah, we saw that your lovely swamp here is making it very difficult for people to traverse from one town to the other.
Creature. The large frog neck expands. The other 2 frogs kind of laugh. And the large creature just goes, "We don't care for other creatures."
I mean, bro, I know how you feel. I don't really give a shit about other people either. You right? But trouble is, one day some big man on a horse is gonna come here, and he's gonna be like, "It's blocking the road. You gotta do something about that." So I've got these beads. I don't know if you're interested in them, but I was just gonna warn you, not in a threatening way, like, but setting up your camp here or whatever this thing is might cause you some trouble in the long term. So you might want to head down south a bit, where you're out of everyone else's way. I kind of just wanted to go around, but everyone else here was like, probably ask.
The creature looks towards one of its companions and it gives a little nod. And this one hops, lands in the water. The 2 of you closest to the water are splashed with this stinking swamp water. And it swims its froggy legs over to you, Skrick, and reaches up with its little webbed fingers towards the beads.
Is that all about?
He takes the beads and hops, whoosh, lands on the little island, hops again, whoosh, lands on the lily pad, next to the large boggard, looks at the beads, sniffs at them, opens his mouth, and the other creature just pours the beads into the large creature's mouth.
Interesting.
Just chokes them down. And then slaps the water in front of him with his staff and just says, "You may go."
Grit looks around.
Just tell him to move
Yeah.
south.
Well, I was kind of hoping that he might take your little swamp and move north or south a bit. I mean, you're only causing yourself trouble in the long term if you stay here.
You may go. This belongs to Loam Growth.
And, I assume I can't speak to this lone growth because he's a god, right?
The other two frogs laugh again. And the big one just says, "You ignorant."
No, yeah, probably, but... Alright, well, thank you for your time. And he's just gonna slowly start walking back to the wagon.
Celia's going to
creature.
put a hand on his shoulder before he does and say, well, I guess, like loud enough so they can hear, and just say, well, I guess if they don't want to move south or north, then they don't want the really cool thing.
I'm not giving the card away, Celia.
No, the really cool thing. And she's just sort of like wide-eyeing him, like play along sort of thing.
Yeah. That.
Do they react in any way when she says that, Tom?
There's like a pregnant pause, only disrupted by a belching sound and the sound of a single bead plopping into the swamp as it's belched up by this large boggart.
Maybe you could show him the mitflit.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I think we should just go and stay in Sea Spray when we're there. This isn't our problem. I tried! Didn't I try? As he shouts over to that guy.
You must go! As they're looking a bit more aggressive now. Clutching spears.
Skrick's gonna try and slowly walk back. He doesn't want to get involved with these guys.
Primrose looks to Celia, whether she's gonna do anything.
Fuck, I don't know.
Just still try and scare him away.
I don't even know if we just leave them for other people. The swamp's gonna get bigger.
Yeah. We might not be able to get back if it gets bigger.
Yeah, it becomes a bigger problem if we just leave it. And we presented them with a pretty peaceful, logical argument as well. Celia is going to ask Grit for the mitflit.
The Skrit.
Or whether it's... there's two in the
gremlin.
enemies. The gremlin.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. I thought you were making up a word.
No. Because the other one's a Jinkin and this one's a... Is it a mitflit
A
or
Skrit.
Skrit? I don't remember.
Oh! That! He'd get out his bag.
She's going to hold it up and say, if you move off the road, then we'll give you this. And then sort of shake it slightly.
Skrit looks towards the boggards and it's just like, "Help! Help, Skrit! These horrible people captured me!"
In the bottle.
Yeah, and the boggards are just lazy eye, just look at it like, "You must leave." Doesn't seem interested.
Celia's just going to say back, saying, "No, you must leave. People are going to come through and they're going to kill you. We don't want to kill you."
The two smaller boggards like threaten aggressively with their spears. The large one's just like, "You speak out of turn." And I need everyone to roll initiative for me, please.
Sorry, guys.
You guys tried. You guys tried. It was never going to be easy to shift these fuckers. Right.
We can't just leave them here. The swamp will get bigger and it's going to come more and more.
We could have just told people in sea spray.
Yeah, but then
True.
then it becomes someone else's problem and
Exactly.
No. I don't want to just.
People.
There's consequences for inaction. I
Not for us.
I think there would be. I don't trust Tom not to fucking do something dastardly.
Lumen's a swamp.
Yeah, exactly. Come back and it's fucking taken over by fucking boggards.
Just sat on top of a big pile of all your families. Just there like, delicious.
Look how happy they are, though. Look how happy he is.
I knew that. I fucking knew that. I knew there was a part of Kieran's brain that was just like, I don't want to fuck with these guys because they're fucking great. You would be very pleased by the amount of different stat blocks and everything these guys get in Pathfinder, Kieran. So many boggart things.
Me and Kieran were looking at the preview package of the Flea Mortals book.
Oh, yeah,
Tom.
Oh,
Cool.
sweet.
God, the fuck it, because I'm going to be using that as soon as it comes out. And
Yeah.
I've already been using some homebrew
The
stuff.
goblins are so good.
They're so much better. Fuck me.
I fucking love MCDM design with enemies and stuff.
They actually feel like goblins, what I was reading.
Yeah,
That's super cool.
the fucking goblin minions, that fucking stabby ability. When you get surrounded by like 4 of them, you have to like do a dex save, or they all do like 1 damage to you. But there's just like,
get him, boys! That's awesome.
It's also really funny because that if you're really high level, that barely does anything.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh.
Let's see, your shield is up.
I've been watching his live streams while getting ready for work because he streams really late he streams at like 3 in the morning, but obviously I wake up at 4, and he previews so much stuff on there.
Oh, that's sweet.
But he's shown like I've seen about like 10 different bits of arts from Flea Mortal from there. I think some of them are so fucking cool.
That's amazing.
The way they've done golems is so different. They're like fucking proper automatons, like more like robots than like stone golems. It's really cool.
That sounds awesome. I will definitely be checking that out. Right. This scout that was twitching with its spear is first to go. It's going to stride. It does seem completely unhindered by the difficult terrain. You will think that this will be difficult for you guys to go through. Mechanically, anywhere that's the proper swamp water, you literally need to swim through it.
Yeah.
Anywhere that's covered in the plants or the slime is just difficult terrain. So double movement needed to move through it. But this thing is unhindered, so it's going to move up a little bit. It's then going to use its terrifying croak ability as it unleashes a huge croak. Can I have everybody make a will save for me, please? Will save. Roll for Gwilyn. I knew I forgot something. I forgot to make her stat. Oh. So on your character sheet, it has will save. It's near the top, in the kind of the middle-ish bit. Yep. Give that a click. So anybody who got under a 17
Everyone.
is frightened 1.
Let's find the token.
Yeah, if you could find a suitable token, or if you just want to use colours for the sake of ease, I don't mind. Just anything to signify if you are frightened 1. Gwilyn did also fail. Oh yes, Greg, found it.
Where's the shield on me? Looks like.
Because you had your shield raised.
I already had it with the other one. The sword
Oh,
and
okay.
shield, because I got a sword and shield.
That is swag.
Can you put Dandy underneath me, Tom?
Yes, that's a good. How did Kieran find frightened? Oh, there it is. Blind. Dandy.
I'm trying to find Frightened 2 and stuff. I don't think that exists on these ones, annoyingly.
Okay. Cool, so you are frightened 1. And then it is going to... From its belt, it's gonna... actually, I think it's close enough. Yeah, it's just gonna... From its mouth after the croak, it's followed by the large whipping tongue. As its tongue comes out to attack you, Celia. It's got 10 feet reach with its tongue attack.
Yeah.
24 to hit.
Yeah, 21's my AC with my shield on.
No damage, but you are grabbed. However, unlike normal grab, you aren't immobilized. You just can't move beyond its current tongue reach, so you can't go more than 10 feet from it. You can sever its tongue by hitting it. It's got an AC and dealing a small amount of slashing damage. Just so you know. That is its full turn. Move, croak, tongue.
Is it grabbed 1?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think just grabbed. I'm not sure what grabbed 1 would mean.
So no, there's grabbed 1 and grabbed 2 on these tokens. So.
Ooh. This Swamp Seer leaps forward with its big frog legs. You could have gone. It is going to cast a spell with its earthworm staff. It is just going to
Fireball.
cast Fireball. You're all dead. It is going to cast Ray of Frost. It is going to do it at... Yeah, it's going to do it as Celia as well, because she has been the antagonist here. Oh, I won't let you roll it like that. That's fine. Roll it just straight. A 16 to hit you, Celia.
21's my AC.
Oh, lovely. So yeah, the Ray of Frost comes towards you, you bring up the shield, and deflect it off to the side. And you see the creature just like... displeased. Primrose, you're up next.
I'm trying to debate what to do.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be good against that one, so I'm just gonna do a little protector tree. Place it right there.
Very cool. That was another thing I wanted to do, make a little token for that, but that's fine.
You get a feat to make tripping not a freehand thing, Tom, as a fire.
It's got
There definitely will be, yeah.
10 AC and 10 hit points.
10 AC, 10 hit points.
The tree interposes its branches and takes the damage whenever an ally is adjacent to the tree.
That's fucking awesome. You're doing it in the middle, yeah?
Yeah, in the middle.
I'm gonna do the little red square for now.
Like here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
There we go. Amazing.
Yes.
Anything else?
What else can I do?
You do a recall knowledge with your nature. See if you can know anything more about these specific combatants.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. +7, right?
Well, +6 with the frightened.
Oh, thank you very much. Still.
Oh, I don't roll it, do I? Whoops.
No, but your streak of good secret rolling continues. So the large one, as well, you guys know, it is a spellcaster. You think, Primrose, especially with your own connection to primal magics, that this thing is probably capable of a few spells. You think it could cast up to 2nd level spells. It's not to be ignored. But all its spells are likely to be controlling spells, like summoning a mist or causing fear, rather than direct damage
Okay.
spells.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then, because you did secretly roll rather well, I will say you are also aware that these creatures don't have any resistances, and the Swamp Seer, you've heard that they, with their loud croaks, they're actually able to, if they get surrounded, they're able to use their voice to actually damage people with how powerful the sound is. So if people get close to them, it can do quite a nasty, almost like an explosion of sound. But yeah.
Cool.
And we'll just assume any recall knowledge, unless players say otherwise, is shared amongst the... Morrigan, your turn. Would you like to do a recall knowledge of your own? Yeah? So I roll secretly, and you told me your modifier before is a +4. Okay.
What do I need to do?
I do it for you.
Okay.
Secret roll, so you don't know whether you rolled pretty well or not. You know, on top of what Primrose has said, that these creatures prefer to fight at range. So they prefer to not be in close combat. They fight with slings. They're quite proficient with them, and also with the Swamp Seer, you know that any abilities that you guys try to use to affect the Swamp Seer or the other boggards that involve sound can be drowned out by the Swamp Seer itself.
Any actions that involve sound?
Yeah, so anything that has the auditory trait.
Then I will use Ghost Sound.
No, it doesn't work, is what I'm saying.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
It gets drowned out by the Swamp Seer. Does have to use its reaction to do that, but yeah.
Fuck it. Okay, well, I'm gonna just do my normal telekinetic projectile thing with like a big clump of mud.
Very nice. Which one are you going for?
That one.
That one. Oh, also, end of your turn, Primrose, the frightened condition goes away. Cool. A 15 does hit. 8 damage. Nice. So, using its own swamp mud against it, you just grab a big clump with your mind and slam into it. And the creature is struck by it. Very nice. You have one. Oh no, because you recalled knowledge. Thank you, Morrigan. Celia.
Well, I was going to try and demoralise them, but now I know that it's auditory. Can't do that.
Cannot.
So my shield is down now, so let's take that off and lower my AC. I'm gonna fucking leap as an action, so I can just jump 10 feet. I'm gonna jump on top of the fucking thing.
Amazing.
And I'm just gonna make an attack as I jump onto it.
Love it.
With my longsword. Yeah. 14.
A 14 hits. 10 slashing damage.
Yes.
I'll put myself slightly to the side, so
Yeah,
but I
thank
am
you.
on top.
Yep. Oof. Yeah, between the mud strikes it, it's unable to see, it's kind of flailing around, and you see the opportunity, Celia, and leap with your sword and strike a grievous blow against it, cutting through the mud and the creature itself. Looking real bad now.
Second attack for the final action.
Very nice. Leap, attack, attack.
Fuck's sake.
Oh yeah, this time not so much.
Good damage.
2 5s, are you kidding me?
The boggard scout on the other side. Gonna swim. No. Actually, it's 5.
The fuck is it 10:30 already? The session's gone so quickly.
Oh, it's quite far. Yeah, we'll go finish this round with Scrixco, and then we'll finish for today.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's gonna use its sling. So interact to draw the sling, and then it's gonna fling a stone at Scrick.
Oh, hang on. Let me see if my tree works.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember.
Hit by a strike. This is a strike.
Okay, there you go then. I wasn't sure if it was just melee or not.
Whatcha! 2 damage to the tree. So it's down to 8. I will put a little text thing in there. 8. 8 left. There we go. So yeah, this rock comes flying out towards Scrick. And this tree just leans down, clunk, gets struck by the sling. Move, sling, and then it will use its last action to reload its sling, so it's ready for its next turn. Scrick, last turn of the round. What's the plan? Oh, Quillen's not on the initiative.
Did my frighten go away by the way, Tom?
It does. End of everyone's round, your frightened condition decreases by 1. And you guys were only frightened 1, so it's gone. You go, Kieran. I'll just do Gwillen after you.
Yeah, he's going to take his short bow out. He's going to recall knowledge on this guy here.
Ooh. Is there anything in particular you'd like to know? Because we've had 2 recall knowledges so far. I'd allow like a targeted one.
Wants to know what the range of its tongue is.
Ooh, okay.
Am I flat-footed and immobilized when I'm grabbed by this tongue, Tom?
Normally, you would be immobilized. You are flat-footed. I'd forgotten about that. You wouldn't have been hit by the thing that went for you anyway, though. You are not immobilized because this has a special thing where it's only you can't go more than 10 feet away from it. That also makes it extra hilarious that its tongue's still round you, even though you just fucking slashed its face in. Yes, Scrick. The range of all their tongues is 10 feet.
So because he did that, he's got his mastermind racket.
Oh, of course. Very nice.
So I think it is now flat-footed.
Yes. Just flat-footed to you. If you operate successfully identify a creature, the creature is flat-footed against
your attacks.
If you critically succeed. Oh yeah, because they actually have a proper. Yeah, I did check the DC before. Boggard. Don't think you crit, but yeah, it is flat-footed to you.
So then he's gonna try and shoot it.
Oh, did you? What did I roll? What is your nature modifier? +4.
Yeah.
You did actually.
3. It's 3.
3. Oh, okay. Just missed. But that does hit. For 5 piercing damage plus
sneak attack.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. You line it up, you look, you find its weak point, you think about frogs are pretty weak in the neck. Bunk into the neck and you see you split open its throat and it's just like
And he'll shout after that, "We don't want to kill you, you just gotta move house."
And that is the perfect note for us to end our session this evening.